for circulation. And now, for a limited time only, full pound bags of original U.S. government-struck Morgan dollars are being released to the public. That's right, you can own a full pound of 1878 to 1921 classic American Morgan silver dollar coins, all in very good collector condition with fully visible dates and mint marks, guaranteed. Call 1-800-473-0864 now to secure collector-grade U.S. Morgan silver dollars by the pound, struck during the Wild West and the Gilded Age. Plus, receive a bonus American Collector's Pack valued at over $25, free with every order. Call 1-800-473-0864 now to secure your full pound bag of Morgan silver dollar coins before they are gone. 1-800-473-0864. That's 1-800-473-0864.
Ask and ye shall receive, Amanda. We have text telling us raining in West Haven, Santaquin, Tooele, Nephi.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much for doing that.
So it is here. KSL News Time, 5:15. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
a new bill that would further lower Utah's income tax rate has passed its first legislative hurdle. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, Netflix says they're going to be changing subscription prices again.
third, a look at traffic and weather together.
But not lower, right?
Probably not.
I-15 looking good into and out of Salt Lake City this morning. We have I-80 a little bit heavy up near Parley's Summit. Big and Little Cottonwood Canyons both open without restrictions so far. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
A combination of rain and snow today, high of 40. I'm Matt Johnson.
Well, look at that. We have rain downtown now, and it's 40 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
Time now for KSL's top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. 3 weeks after that door blew off an Alaska Airlines flight in midair, grounding all Boeing 737 MAX 9 planes, there is a plan in place to return them to the sky. A big political endorsement for President Biden. The United Auto Workers have lined up behind him. President Sean Fain says of Biden's likely November rival in terms of organized labor,
Donald Trump is a scab.
As for the woman who is still running against Trump in the GOP race, Nikki Haley says she has raised over $1 million since her New Hampshire concession speech.
We have had 200,000 donors from all 50 states. 95% of those donations are $200 or less. This is about real Americans.
And as for Donald Trump, he is expected in a New York City courtroom today, part of the penalty phase for his defamation against writer E. Jean Carroll. A jury has already found him liable for sexual assault against her in the mid-90s. Florida lawmakers passing a bill that would ban kids under 16 from signing up for almost all social media platforms, even with the parents' permission. It doesn't specify which ones.
But it targets any company that tracks user activity, allows children to upload content, or uses design features like endless scrolling, which critics say encourages compulsive use.
That's Lionel Moise. This is ABC News.
Time now for the KSL In-Depth. The FAA is finally out with guidelines to tell airlines what to look for as they carefully inspect their Boeing 737 MAX 9 planes.
ABC News correspondent Sam Sweeney joins us live. What did we learn about these guidelines, Sam?
Well, they came out overnight, and they explicitly tell the airlines what they need to do to make sure that these planes are safe and exactly how to fix them. And now the airlines are going to begin doing that. They've been looking over the planes over the last couple of weeks to see if there are any other issues that they may have missed and exactly what they need to do. And, you know, the FAA is really focused on the quality assurance practices at Boeing, sloppy work, if you will, and they need to make sure they get this right. And they are having their investigators on the ground in Renton, Washington, going piece by piece to make sure that Boeing does get this right. But in the meantime, airlines will spend about 8 to 10 hours per plane to get them fixed, get them inspected, and then get them back in the air. Alaska says they will have their first planes in the air by tomorrow. United Airlines expects to have their MAX 9 back on the schedule by Sunday.
I realize that the MAX 9 is a new version of the 737, but the 737 really has been the workhorse of the airline industry for years. And their CEO, Dave Calhoun of Boeing, yesterday was saying, you know, we make safe planes. They're in the skies lots and lots of times every day.
Yeah, he was grilled on Capitol Hill. He said he went there to, you know, be transparent with lawmakers. You can imagine this is a man who is fighting for his company, fighting for his career, if you will. And he is on damage control. The public has lost trust in Boeing. It seems like it's been issue after issue. But the Boeing 737 is, as you said, has been the workhorse for decades and has been a safe airplane. But this is a newer model, and they are not really concerned with the design of this airplane. Again, they are focused on the quality assurance, what goes into the final production, how the subcontractors are working, and is their work sloppy? We are now hearing reports, the Seattle newspaper in Seattle putting out a report yesterday that this door plug was actually removed by Boeing workers, and then it was put back into place, but it was done wrong. Now, the NTSB hasn't confirmed that report. They are still working on their preliminary report. But again, Boeing CEO Dave Calhoun says he takes full responsibility for this issue. This is not an airline problem.
Oh, so I just want to make sure I understand, Sam, that so it is the production of this plane, not required maintenance on the part of the airlines that have led to these problems.
Correct. All indications point that this is an issue with the airplane from the factory. This plane had only been flying for a couple of months. Maintenance workers at Alaska Airlines haven't even gone into this section of the airplane because it's so new. They wouldn't even look at these parts for at least 2 to 3 more years when this plane would be required to go into heavy maintenance. And as we've learned, United Airlines, which wasn't affected by this door plug, obviously, has also found loose bolts or issues with some of their planes. So this is a production issue from Boeing that they need to fix, and they need to fix it now and get it right.
All right, Sam, thanks for your reporting on this. Sam Sweeney, ABC News correspondent in the Transportation Unit back in Washington. I heard that report that Sam was referencing about, and I didn't realize that. I mean, I just assumed Boeing made all the parts, constructed all the parts that are there. They have subcontractors.
Right.
And these things sometimes will come in pieces that are then put together by Boeing. And in the case, what they're looking into is whether the workers pulled that door plug out to make it easier for them to assemble the entire plane, and then there was a mistake in when they put it back in.
Yeah. But Boeing's responsible for all of that.
Yeah.
So that's an important thing to note, that it's not maintenance on the part of the airlines. It is in the production process.
In the case of that plane.
Yeah, that plane.
That lost the door plug.
And some bolts and things.
Yeah. The wheels we were talking about yesterday and some of the other things, maybe a maintenance issue.
Maybe.
But this particular plane we're talking about, it was a manufacturing problem. Something we're going to continue to watch as we follow it up on the In-Depth at 15 and 45.
Let's get a look at traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s. Brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. And we go back to you, Andy.
And we've had a good start so far this morning in Salt Lake County with light traffic on the freeways. Road conditions are excellent. And speeds have been good, even on our city streets, Mountain View, Bangerter, Redwood, and even Tooele County, SR 36 so far. Michelle?
Things are still looking good in Weber and Davis County, seeing just a minor delay as you're slowing down I-15, making your way toward 12th Street in Ogden. If you're trying to get onto Hill Air Force Base, KSL traffic trooper giving us a heads up that there's 3 lanes instead of 4 lanes open trying to get on at the South Gate. So you're going to see a little bit of extra slowing through that area. And then the West Gate also has a little delay there as well. Eric?
Well, Santa Quina is one of the spots where listeners have told us that rain is falling, and we can see it in the cameras in Provo Canyon as well. And you do have some slowing on 189 going out through to Heber City this morning. If you're on I-80 out through Parley's Canyon, no problems there going to the Wasatch. Back in the 215 Belt Route looks good as you head north, heading up to Foothill Drive. Don't let tax problems ruin your life. Let Utah Tax Attorney Jordan Wilcox handle the IRS so you don't have to. Visit TaxHelpUT.com. That's TaxHelpUT.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-8 forecast. We got some activity out there today. Rain, snow showers, temperatures in the low 40s. Partly cloudy tomorrow. We're drying out, high of 40. Back up to 44 with high pressure building on Saturday. Partly cloudy skies. Upper 40s by Sunday, partly cloudy. We keep it mostly sunny on 48 on Monday. Tuesday, 48. We go to 50 by next Wednesday with mostly sunny skies. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Thanks for all the text in this first half hour. We are getting reports of rain everywhere, and now it's arrived in downtown Salt Lake City where it's 40 degrees. 40. The 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
So nobody sees any snow? Anybody living up in the higher elevations? Are you getting any snow this morning? If you are, I'd sure appreciate knowing. At 57500, you can text us. Hey, you want to have some jazz basketball tonight?
Yes, please.
I'm hoping for a strong comeback after that loss. The Utah Jazz are at Washington tonight. The tip-off is early. It's at 5 o'clock, so when you get the car to head home, make sure you tune into KSL News Radio.
Coach Will is usually pretty good at scolding them profusely after a lack of effort loss, and so we'll see how they respond tonight. Coming up, we'll see how the markets are responding. Yesterday, it was pretty flat, actually, with the exception of the Dow that was down 100 points at the close. We'll check your money news next.
Are you one of those people? Those people. You know, self-driven, confident, love sales and understanding marketing. Would you like to work with a variety of businesses, large and small, helping them succeed? Do you want to actually make the kind of money you know you should make? Are you looking for a career with an opportunity to grow? Well, we're looking for those people. Bonneville Salt Lake Media Group is looking for account executives from a variety of backgrounds and experience levels to connect with high-potential business opportunities for digital marketing. KSL Podcasts, KSL News Radio, 103.5 The Era, FM 100.3, and 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone. It's advertising sales that will change your world. Not to mention the world-class list of benefits we're famous for. You'll work in person and remotely in a dynamic team culture with opportunities to reach audiences both locally and globally. If this is the kind of work that interests you, text careers to 57500. That's careers to 57500. Text careers to 57500.
Made to Shine. Love stories from Shane Company customers.
We've only been dating 6 months, but I really wanted to get my girlfriend something special for Valentine's Day. So I went to Shane Company, and they thought a gift with their birthstone would be meaningful. So I got her an opal necklace, and their opals are spectacular. I was surprised it was only a couple $100. I can't wait to give it to her.
We're passionate about sourcing the most beautiful gemstones from around the world, so your love can shine bright. Shane Company. Fine jewelry since 1929.
They say it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert. You may not have that kind of time for weatherization, energy efficiency, and appliance rebates, but we do. Dominion Energy's ThermWise program has experts who know where and how to save money. They help homeowners and businesses find simple ways to conserve natural gas and rebates through upgrades that may help to save even more. We put our energy into helping you conserve it, so you can spend your 10,000 hours becoming an expert in what matters to you. Start with a home energy plan at thermwise.com.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Chipotle is hiring 19,000 workers ahead of what they call burrito season.
Which is every day, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought so. In my house it is. It runs from March to May. I did not know there was a burrito season. The busiest time of the year for the fast casual Mexican restaurant. The company is also offering additional incentives to draw workers in.
Yeah, they're actually going to pay college tuition, I think, or reimburse college tuition in some cases.
That's cool.
TikTok is the latest tech company to trim jobs this year. The company is laying off dozens of workers in its advertising and sales unit. The company did not provide a reason for the layoffs. It says impacted workers can apply to other open positions at TikTok, which currently has more than 120 similar job listings.
Parent company Haleon is recalling 8 lots of Robitussin cough syrup after a microbial contamination. The Robitussin Honey CF Max day and nighttime medicines are used for cold and flu symptoms. Yeah, look that up if you think you might have some in your closet.
Bad timing to recall that right now in the middle of winter, isn't it? Yeah. All right, I mentioned the Dow was down almost 100 points yesterday. It's going to start that way this morning, but just off a fraction. It's down 8 points. And narrow trading again today. The Dow is up, but just 3. The NASDAQ on the plus side by 26.
We have some slowing getting into Hill Air Force Base at the South Gate, but the other city streets are in good shape. We'll check traffic and weather together coming up next.
If you've ever experienced running out of hot water before your shower was done, or hard water spots on dishes and fixtures, I've got a deal you might be interested in. What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and you probably already know that a tankless water heater and a water softener solve both issues. If you've ever thought about looking into getting a tankless water heater, here's the deal I was talking about. Through the end of February, we're including a free water softener with every new tankless water heater we install. The best part of this deal might be that you never have to worry about being the last one to the shower again, or that you don't have to waste the money keeping 40 to 50 gallons of water hot 24/7. To take advantage of this deal, call Any Hour Services before the end of February. The visit's free and there's no obligation to buy. If you decide to have us install a new tankless water heater, we'll throw in the water softener for free. That's right, a free water softener when you purchase a tankless water heater. Pick up the phone and call Any Hour Services right now for all the details. 801-443-7400. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Don't let this.
The fog has rolled in again, so long wait times.
Happen to you.
That right lane is blocked, and it is causing delays.
Fire's out, but they've got a few vehicles strung along the right side there as you make your way into the downtown area.
We do have a little bit of slowing still continuing on the south and west gates at Hill Air Force Base.
Dozens of traffic reporters and thousands of KSL listeners work together to get you to work and home on time. Listen every 10 minutes on the 9s, mornings and afternoons.
On KSL News Radio.
KSL News Time 529, traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Here again is Andy Farnsworth.
So far, so good. Traveling on I-15 through the Salt Lake Valley. If you're getting rained on, it's just a light sprinkle at this point. I don't see any wet road conditions having any effect, whether you're on I-80 or 201 crossing the valley from the west side. And city streets, no crashes or delays yet. Michelle?
Well, I have a texter saying we do have a little bit of light rain in far west. Not seeing anything hitting the roads either up in Weber or Davis County particularly. We do still have these slowdowns, though. We do have a restriction on the south gate at Hill Air Force Base trying to get onto the base. Also some slowing on the west side as well. Eric?
In Utah County, no problems on I-15 from Provo to Lehigh. Over on I-80 if you're eastbound. Exiting at 700 East, you've got a stalled vehicle right at the end of the exit ramp as you go south on 700. So just be a little bit careful as you take that turn there because there's a car with its flashing lights on right in front of you. I-80 into the mountains, though, that looks good right now despite whatever precipitation's happening in some stretches. Start your dream kitchen or bath today at Bedrock Quartz, where it's only 7 days from template to installation. Visit New Murray or Spanish Fork showrooms or bedrockquartz.com. bedrockquartz.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
Thank you so much for your text. We are seeing snow in Heber this morning and in Sardine Canyon, so watch out for snow in those areas. Rain in a lot of other areas. Today's high will only be where we are now, 40 degrees. The rain moves out by later today. Tomorrow will be just cloudy, and then, oh my gosh, look at this, Tim. We get to 50 degrees by Wednesday. That's crazy.
Roller coaster ride.
It's raining and 40 downtown.
You're listening to Utah's Morning News with Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon
on KSL News Radio.
102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good morning, KSL News Time 530.
KSL's top story this hour.
Rain and snow in some areas could have an impact on the drive into work today.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small joins us live with details. Adam?
Amanda, the key to this storm is rain on most of the valley floors and snow in the higher elevations. We're seeing it all around the Wasatch Front on the KSL Vortex right now, seeing snow all across the mountains, all the way up to the Idaho border, as far south as Nephi. Some models are predicting snow to affect the valleys around 8 o'clock on the drive-in, but KSL meteorologist Matt Johnson says he thinks it's going to stay mostly rain.
Ogden northward, I think it stays as snow. In fact, with this model in particular, it's trying to switch it all over to snow, but I think we'll stay a rain-snow mix for most of us along the Wasatch Front, so minimal snow accumulation.
Now, let's hope we get as much snow as we can in the mountains, though, because there isn't a trace of rain or snow in the forecast for the next week or so. Matt is predicting they'll get 4 to 8 inches here in northern Utah. The southern mountains, which are still well behind on their snowpack need, I mind you, they could get 6 inches to a foot. Reporting live, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
A Utah County task force says some cities need to step up to help the unsheltered. KSL News Radio is live now with Peter Johnston. Peter.
Tim. Currently, Provo is the only city in Utah County with warming centers for unsheltered people. Those include libraries, public buildings, and even hotel rooms that open when temperatures dip below 15 degrees and trigger Utah's code blue. Utah County's Winter Response Task Force wants to change that, though. The group is composed of Utah County and state leaders, and their goal is to craft a plan that opens more services for homeless individuals in towns like Orem and Springville. One proposal would grant people a one-day bus pass to get to these other areas. If there's not a formal plan by August, the state says a permanent homeless shelter could be coming to Utah County. Reporting live, Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
Today, David Dujanovic will be broadcasting live from the Women's Resource Center here in Salt Lake City to talk about what's needed to help those experiencing homeless.
A Utah city hopes a new water tracking app helps people think more about their water use. KSL News Radio's Britt Johnson has more.
St. George wants people to be able to track their water usage and hopes people will realize how much they're using and find ways to cut back. Saratoga Springs has something similar, an online portal that they've used for several years. Annalise Harrison with Saratoga Springs City uses the portal personally and says it really helps her not only cut back on her water usage, but cut back on her bill.
Saratoga Springs portal gives alerts to subscribers if there is an unusual spike in usage. People can even track their usage hourly.
KSL's top national stories this hour. Two major airlines say they'll have their Boeing 737 MAX 9 planes back in the air by this weekend after being inspected for loose bolts. Here's ABC's Andy Field.
Alaska Airlines saying it hopes to have its 737 MAX 9 jets flying again by Friday. United thinks theirs will take off Sunday. That optimism after the FAA approved a thorough inspection checklist to ensure none of those Boeing aircraft loses another door plug panel in flight.
200 of the Boeing jetliners were grounded after an Alaska Airlines flight lost a door plug.
A new online game is aimed at helping high school kids make good decisions during real disasters.
It's called Disaster Mind.
You will need to make quick, effective decisions on your own.
A mysterious guide leads players through 3 different disaster scenarios to help them develop critical thinking skills. Messages and pop-ups provide information as players face a series of decisions.
Keep an eye on chirps to view important, time-sensitive information that may affect the decisions you make.
As players make good decisions, their health goes up, but bad ones causes their health to drop. The game is available at FEMA.gov/disastermind. Don Brinkerhoff, KSL News Radio.
All right, Andy, rain and even snow in some of the higher elevations have arrived, so let's get our first look at traffic.
Well, so far it hasn't stuck to the roads anywhere. That's been good news. Although if you're going through Provo Canyon, that's where we're seeing probably the longest portion of reduced speeds. Even Parley's right now, I'm seeing some snow flakes in the camera, but not sticking to the road. So the higher elevation's an issue. Down in the valleys, you might see a little bit of rain on your windshield, but not enough to slow you down on any of the freeways just yet. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Local police say thieves are finding self-checkout lanes at grocery stores easy targets. Utah County Sheriff Sergeant Spencer Cannon tells KSL-TV those lanes are monitored, but not closely.
If they have, 5 boxes of cookies, they scan 4 of them. Self-checkout is probably the easiest way for them to get away with it.
He says thieves also like to launder stolen credit cards in those lanes by purchasing gift cards.
The Slam Dance Film Festival here in Utah, which runs alongside of Sundance, is wrapping up. KSL News Radio's Mark Jackson reports.
Going on its 30th year, Slam Dance Film Festival focuses on smaller independent films. One of its founders, Peter Baxter, says some of Hollywood's biggest filmmakers have history with Slam Dance, including Christopher Nolan, known for such projects as 2008's The Dark Knight, the follow-up to Batman Begins.
He played his first feature following here. There was a great sense of discovery with Chris at Slam Dance. When he played here, and then, of course, his next film, Memento, then played at Sundance.
Slam Dance takes place in Park City at the Yarrow and in Salt Lake City at the University of Utah. Mark Jackson, KSL News Radio.
There'll be a change in the way police departments access footage from the Amazon-owned company Ring. KSL News Radio's Michael Commit has more. Michael?
Amanda, this is all about doorbell camera footage. Ring's Request for Assistance tool on their Neighbors app allowed police to request and access that footage in the first place. It's this relationship between the company and law enforcement that made privacy advocates feel pretty concerned. Critics say residents could use this feature to report only what they saw as suspicious behavior, and this could lead to a state of constant surveillance or even racial profiling. Now, police can still get this footage, but for now, they'll need a warrant first. Reporting live, Michael Commit, KSL News Radio.
Starting to see some reduced speeds on 89 through Provo Canyon, 189 through Provo Canyon over some wet roads, but Parley's looks okay. Not sticking to the roads yet. We'll check traffic and weather together next.
Spend your workday with a talk show that makes you feel better about the news.
Dave and Dujanovic.
They have a good dynamic between the two of them.
Sometimes I'll take Dave's side and sometimes I'll take Debbie's side.
They're great.
Dave and Debbie, live from 9 to noon, or podcast the show on the app for KSL News Radio.
The monster is coming, and it wants you and your family.
And that's great news, really, because it's time for the Bear Lake Monster Winterfest, January 26th through the 28th. Winterfest is all about an incredible celebration of winter and all the fun it brings. So start Friday with Monster Winter Sports and Trails Day, a free event featuring fat tire bikes, snowshoes, snowmobiles, and tubes for the kids. Also a taste of Bear Lake, with local restaurants dishing up their tasty specialties. Then Saturday, it's the Monster 5K Walk and Run, a Monster Cisco Disco Tournament, chili cook-off, even a cardboard boat regatta, followed by the famous Monster Plunge. Come on, Bear Lake awaits. Visit BearLakeMonsterWinterfest.com for pre-registration times and locations. That's BearLakeMonsterWinterfest.com. Presented by Bear Lake Visitors Bureau and Bear Lake Chamber.
The story of the nurse and the foot pain that nearly brought him down.
I feel like I'm giving people their lives back.
Robert lived to take care of his patients, but he couldn't do it unless he took care of his foot pain.
I have plantar fasciitis. It'll almost put you on your knees. That's how much it hurts.
His own recovery started when he got fitted for arch supports at the Good Feet store.
Now that I'm pain-free, I can make these people feel better.
Can't beat that. Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com. The universal truth of women's shoes. The cuter they are, the more they hurt.
You have to put your best foot forward, and if your best foot is an ugly shoe, oh my goodness.
Lise Ann thought she had to choose between looking good and feeling good until she got fitted for arch supports at the Good Feet store.
Now I can wear the shoes that I've picked out because I like the way they look, not because they were comfortable.
Good Feet relieved her pain and her fashion dilemma. Stop by or schedule your free fitting.
Stop by the Good Feet store in Farmington, Riverton, or Sandy for a free fitting. Call 1-800-NEW-FEET or visit goodfeet.com.
Brett Johnson filed a report today. I'm interested in if you had a water tracking app at your house, would you use it? Would it be helpful for you to know how many gallons of water your family's using every day?
After water got so super expensive the couple of years ago,
yeah,
I think I might.
I'd be stressed out watching my kid in the shower and pounding on the door,
Maybe not
gallon
that
by
closely.
gallon by gallon running away. St. George is actually doing that. Saratoga Springs has a similar online deal, too. We'll talk about it this morning.
Right now, 5:39, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s. Brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Andy?
Right now, Amanda, travel through Salt Lake County crash-free. And so far, weather not creating any additional slowing. Seeing some busier traffic in the West Jordan stretch of Bangerter Highway between 78, 6200 south and that stretch, but not backed up. Coming out of Tooele County, SR 36 starting to slow a little bit in Lake Point at the SR 36 Flying J intersection, and then it's clear once you're on to I-80. Michelle?
Well, we're still running smoothly from Ogden down to Salt Lake, looking like a KSL travel time of about 35 minutes. Also, if you're trying to get onto Hill Air Force Base, again, we still have a little bit of extra slowing. This is at the South Gate, and then some delays as you're trying to make your way on the West Gate, although that's really eased. Eric?
And we still have some slowing because of wet roads out through Provo Canyon as you head past Vivian Park over to the south end of Deer Creek Reservoir, both directions slowing down a little bit. I-15 in Utah County, though, that looks good. It's a 30-minute drive from Santaquin to Point of the Mountain. The major feeders over to the freeway also in good shape. When you choose Performance Automotive and Bountiful, you're choosing selection. 4 locations: Performance Ford Lincoln, Performance Honda, Performance Toyota, and Truck Country. See it all at PerformanceBountiful.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
We'll see moments of rain and snow today. Temperatures will top out in the low 40s with most of the activity in the morning. 29 overnight with mostly cloudy skies. 40 tomorrow, partly cloudy. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Raining downtown just lightly, 40 degrees this hour.
Do you use Venmo or Zelle or one of those?
Becky does. I don't.
Cash App?
I have the app on my phone, but I've never sent money to anybody else.
I use Venmo. I use it quite a bit. And we're learning from Brad Garrett about a new scam that's targeting not just, all of these cash transfer apps.
Yeah.
We'll talk to Brad about it in a moment here on KSL News Radio.
Look forward to that conversation next, and you'll find us streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Hey folks, it's Doug and Kathy with Window World.
Doug, can you believe it's been 20 years?
What's been 20 years?
Well, since we opened our first Window World store.
That is amazing. Our motto today is the same: quality products, professionally installed, backed up by our awesome warranty.
And our team shares those very same values.
Come see us today. We have stores in Murray and Spanish Fork for your convenience.
Experience the Window World difference. Call 801-281-8111 or visit windowworldutah.com.
And we promise no baloney.
Healthcare with human kindness is here. It's at Common Spirit Health. Hospitals, clinics, and caregivers all connected to advance healthcare in Colorado, Kansas, and Utah. Together, we have a common purpose, partnering with you in health and healing using powerful medicine, powerful technology, and the greatest power of all, human kindness. You'll know it when you see it, because human kindness is in every care site and in every caregiver. Common Spirit Health. Hello, human kindness.
Derek Overstreet, founder of the New Millennium Group. We're a financial planning firm. Listen, we're fiduciaries. We have advisors standing by right now to take your call. That's 888-999-6370. 888-999-6370. The reason you're going to want to call is we're going to help you retire 3 to 5 years before you thought possible. Now, imagine how that would be if you could actually retire 3 to 5 years sooner than your plan was. The way we do this is by putting together a step-by-step plan, taking into consideration any rental properties that you have, any pension income that you have, your Social Security. Listen, we put that all together for you in writing. It will allow us to build your income based on inflation. You know, inflation has been rapidly rising. You and I both need a plan that whatever we start out our income at, in 5 or 10 years, we're going to need 40% more income. So if you're one of those people listening and you'd like a plan in writing, give us a call at 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370, or go to utahsfinancialplanner.com.
My name is Tom.
My name is Cindy.
We give to and volunteer with United Way at our community free health clinic.
We know our time and money are going to the right places.
We don't just wear the shirt.
We live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
KSL News Time, 545. The 3 things you need to know this hour. First,
a homelessness task force in Utah County wants more cities to step up their services for unsheltered people. I'm KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston.
Second, St. George hopes a new water tracking app will help homeowners cut down on water waste.
Third, a look at traffic and weather together.
Speeds reduced a bit in Provo Canyon because of weather conditions. Parley's is looking okay at the moment. Road conditions, even if you're seeing rain on your windshield down in the valleys, it hasn't been enough to wet the roads down and cause any additional travel time. That's good. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Periods of rain and snow showers today, especially in the morning. High of 40. I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now, we do have some rain and 39 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
Let's take a look at our top national stories.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. As Nikki Haley begins campaigning in her home state of South Carolina and Donald Trump prepares for his appearance today in the E. Jean Carroll trial, possibly, Joe Biden is gearing up for a fight against Donald Trump in November. Here's ABC White House correspondent Karen Travers with more.
For the campaign, this is the matchup that they wanted because, one, they know they've already beaten him. And two, when you're an incumbent who has poll numbers like Joe Biden right now, the best option you can probably have for a re-election battle is to make it a choice between you and another guy who is so polarizing. So they know that they can very deeply demonize a candidate like Donald Trump because Americans know him so well.
Alabama will this evening attempt to put an inmate to death using nitrogen gas, a never-before-used execution method that state claims is humane, but critics say is cruel and experimental. This is ABC News.
Let's go in depth here. Digital pay systems like Venmo, Zelle, and Cash App are leaving bank accounts vulnerable.
Joining us live is ABC News crime and terrorism analyst Brad Garrett. I use these all the time, as I bet many of our listeners do. Brad, how do we protect ourselves?
So there are a number of steps you can take, but just think a minute about the volume. We're talking about 1 trillion transactions that go on over these apps. So hundreds of millions of us, I think, every day use them, again, to your point, because they're so easy to use. However, they're tied to your bank account. So, for example, Zelle is like tied to my Wells Fargo bank account. And so if the bad guys have successfully breached your computer or they have purchased previous breaches by other bad guys that they sell on the dark web, they then have the advantage of having your account number, but they can't still get into, let's say, your Zelle account unless they have the two-factor authentication. So here's the typical scam. They'll represent themselves over the phone or through a text that they either are employed by one of these app companies or the bank itself, like Bank of America or whomever it might be. They convince you, or at least some of us, that you've had fraudulent activity on your account and we need your help in solving it. And so what they do is convince a certain number of people to open up their account. In other words, get the two-factor authentication, give the bad guy, in effect, the 6-digit number, and then he or she can get into your bank account and in some cases clean it out. I mean, the FTC says that these type of apps, there's over $2.5 billion stolen out of them every year.
Well, Zelle alone, I'm looking at these numbers from 2021, says that customers lost $440 million. Do they ever get any of this money back?
Well, they didn't initially, but there was a class action suit sometime back, Tim, and through that, the banks now are reimbursing people for money lost. But to Amanda's question, the real key is the following. If you get a text message or a phone call from somebody representing themselves as your bank, be leery of both of those. And in fact, if you get a text message, I would suggest you just delete it because it's just going to be a scam. If you get a telephone call, you can listen and then hang up, then call your bank, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, whomever it might be, and saying, did your security people call me? Do I have an issue with my account? That's more time on your part, and we're all in a hurry, and we don't want our account screwed up. So there's a percentage of people that will bite. I mean, that's a lot of money. Over $2.5 billion a year are stolen through these apps. So that's the advice. You just have to take the extra steps. So it's basically on you to make sure you don't get scammed.
But I'm so leery of everything now that if you want to get a hold of me, you're going to have to really try hard.
Yeah.
Because I will assume it's a scam.
Exactly. That's great.
All right, Brad, thanks, as always, for trying to help us avoid these problems. ABC News crime and terrorism analyst Brad Garrett.
Do you know how many texts I delete?
Oh, yeah.
And calls I just don't answer or don't return?
What I've gotten into the habit of, and I can thank our company, Bonneville, for this, pounding into our brains to be careful, is I'll click on it. Even if it looks official and there are logos and everything, I'll click on top to
the URL.
See what that URL is.
Yes.
See what that account is. And often you'll look at it and go, that
doesn't look just right. That's a smart idea with everything.
Yeah. Boy, there's a lot of ways to get caught these days, though. 5:49, time for us to get a look at the drive, traffic, and weather together. Brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. It is raining in spots, Andy, but doesn't seem to be causing any problems.
Yeah, as far as delays, we haven't seen any extra, but it is seemed to be coming down a little bit harder, the rain now in West Valley along Mountain View, especially around 3500 South. I'm also seeing Redwood Road in Taylorsville getting a little bit wet, but so far so good on I-15. No delays and really wet conditions to speak of for drivers. And then Tooele County, still pretty light traffic into the valley as well. Michelle?
Well, it's still very quiet if you're up in Weber or Davis counties. The biggest delays I'm still seeing is if you're trying to get onto Hill Air Force Base, either at the West Gate and more slowing if you're going up from the South Gate. Eric?
In Utah County, I-15 is cruising along, at least in the valley. No problems from Spanish Fork, Springville, all the way up to Thanksgiving Point. But if you are heading out to Heber City via Provo Canyon, 189 is slow because of some wet conditions. Partley's Canyon looks good on I-80 this morning if you're going out to Park City. Update your kitchen with Durden's Appliance, where they meet any competitor's price. Visit Durdens.com or on 5th South and Bountiful. Durden's, brands you know at prices you'll love. Eric Butler, KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-8 forecast. Today is the only active weather day through the next 7. 40 degrees today with rain, snow showers, especially in the morning. Partly cloudy tomorrow, 40. Back up to 44 with a mix of sun and clouds on Saturday. High pressure really building in here on Sunday, 47. Partly cloudy. Might even see a little bit of valley haze. Upper 40s by Monday and Tuesday. Mostly sunny and 50 degrees. That's 10 above the normal by Wednesday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now it's 39 degrees, and the 7-day forecast is brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
Another look at money and Cougar Tracks right around the corner. Stay with us.
Have you heard about the huge clearance sale at Dave's Bernina in St. George and Provo? It's time to buy a better machine and get a Bernina. Up to 48 months, no interest on certain models.
Huge January savings on Bernina's Special Edition 770QE and 570QE CAFE machines that include a free embroidery module and free gifts.
Purchase the L890 Serger and receive a free Bernina Studio cabinet, a $3,250 value. How about $2,400 worth of free gifts when you buy a Bernina B790 Pro model?
Unlimited supply. These machines won't last.
Dave's Bernina has incredible deals on school machine buybacks during the sale.
Starting at $499, plus super deals on floor models and trade-ins.
From everyday sewing tasks to artistic designs, count on Dave's Bernina. In business since 1960. 691 East St. George Boulevard and 2017 North 550 West in Provo.
The
Management Minute is a service of the MBA program in the John M. Huntsman School of Business at Utah State University. I'm Professor Scott Hammond. If you spend thousands of dollars and years of your life becoming a knowledge worker, I have some news for you. It's not over. Depending on your specialty, knowledge has a short shelf life. If you want to retain or increase your value, you'll need to keep learning for the rest of your career. Research today shows that most knowledge workers spend 20 to 25% of their time learning, and much of that learning occurs with work teams and other colleagues. That's more than one day in every work week spent in formal or informal learning. Learn how to learn better with an MBA from Utah State University. Go to utahstatemba.com. That's utahstatemba.com. I'm Scott Hammond. Hope to see you in one of our classes.
Did you know 96% of Americans lose an average of $111,000 in Social Security income? And it's because they claim their benefits at the wrong time. Don't lose $111,000 in Social Security income that's rightfully yours. Learn how you could wring every nickel out of your benefits on Retirement Solutions Radio this Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock, right here on KSL. News Radio 1027.
The Salt Lake Chamber is Utah's voice for business. Okay, that sounds great, but what does it really mean? Well, as Utah's largest and longest standing business association, they support and champion community prosperity throughout the state. And if you're in business, well, that's a very good thing for you. Be sure to listen to the Chamber's Speaking on Business, weekdays at 7:20, 11:55, and 5:20 p.m. on KSL News Radio.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Markets are pretty flat right now. The Dow has gotten back in the green, the positive territory, but it's up just 5. The S&P up 4 1/4. The NASDAQ on the plus side by 36.
Cougar Tracks is brought to you by Central Bank CB Vault, Utah's help center for startups and entrepreneurs. Visit cbutah.com. And here is BYU insider Matt Baiamonte.
BYU basketball is turning the page from a tough loss earlier in the week against the number 4 Houston Cougars. Despite the loss, there were several positive takeaways from the game. BYU was picked to finish 13th in the Big 12 Conference before the season began by the media. They've certainly looked much better than the 13th ranked team in the conference. And playing in Provo has proven to be difficult for road teams.
Marriott Center is incredibly special. The Cougar Nation played a large part in us trying to scrap back into this game. We need their help, and so we're super grateful for that. It's pretty special to be able to play in this building.
Coach Pope and these Cougars will need BYU fans yet again this Saturday with a big home game lurking. It's the Texas Longhorns, who are playing some of their best basketball of the season. With Cougar Tracks, I'm Matt Baiamonte on your legacy home of the BYU Cougars, KSL News Radio.
Are you a startup, entrepreneur, or business owner looking for funding? Look no further than Central Bank's CB Vault, Utah's help center for startups and entrepreneurs. CB Vault understands the unique challenges faced by business owners. CB Vault is here to help you start, grow, or thrive with a dedicated help center for startups and entrepreneurs, providing personalized financial solutions, networking, and guidance for every step of the way. With a range of services tailored for startups and small businesses and expert financial advice to flexible loan options, CB Vault helps you get funding and allows you to keep your equity. Whether you're seeking funding, planning expansion, or navigating the financial landscape, CB Vault's team of experts is ready to assist you in turning your vision into reality. Don't let financial barriers hold you back. Central Bank's CB Vault is here to unlock your business potential. Visit CB Vault today at cbutah.com. Central Bank, voted best bank in Utah Valley. Strong, local, secure. Since 1891. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It's the question that's been on everybody's mind, and it's about to be answered. When will Gillette Heating and Air offer plumbing services?
You want to know?
Yeah! The answer is now. To celebrate, Gillette is offering a free tankless water heater when you buy a high-efficiency heating and cooling system. For a limited time while supplies last, call Gillette today for heating, AC, and now plumbing. Call 385-GET-HEAT.
Carrier, turn to the experts.
Visit the contest page on KSLNewsRadio.com. This week, don't miss your chance at New Year's Cash for being a KSL Text subscriber, or win tickets to Ballet West's Swan Lake, featuring the timeless music of Tchaikovsky. Don't miss Swan Lake February 9th through the 17th. Plus, win tickets to the Utah Boat and Water Sports Expo, February 1st through the 4th at the Mountain America Expo Center. Text the word contest to 57500 or go to KSLNewsRadio.com/contests.
5:59, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s. Brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Andy?
Well, Amanda, we got rain coming down on the west side of the valley, especially on Mountain View going through West Valley. I'm also starting to see traffic slow a little bit on 3500 south over by 56 west. And then on I-15, roads are wet at the point. They do seem to dry out as you head down the hill and up towards Sandy Midvale for now. We'll see how that goes going forward. No delays on I-80 out of Tooele County so far. Michelle?
We also don't have any delays if you're on I-15 coming from Ogden all the way down to Salt Lake. I-215 Legacy also in good shape. Eric?
And if you're in Utah County, we've got normal movement as you head from Provo up to Lehigh. That's a 20-minute drive if you're getting on at University Avenue. If you're heading out through Provo Canyon, we do have some wet spots and some slowdowns, and we have for about an hour now from Vivian Park heading up to the south end of Deer Creek Reservoir. Along the Jordanelle Reservoir, you do have some southbound slowing on US 40 now as you head out of Park City down towards the Heber City area, and on I-80 you do have some slowing as you head east from Lambs Canyon up to the top of Parley Summit. Sundance isn't the only artsy interest in town. Visit Park City Gallery Association's Evening Gallery Stroll, January 26th. Support local businesses and artists in a festivation.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
We expected a high of 40. We may have already been there. 39 downtown.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Good morning. KSL News Time is 6 o'clock. This is Utah's Morning News. I'm Tim Hughes.
And I'm Amanda Dixon. KSL's top story this hour.
A proposed income tax cut that impacts all of us is advancing through the state Senate.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small begins our live team coverage Eye on the Hill 2024. Adam?
Amanda, a Senate committee just passed a bill that would lower the state income tax rate further from its current 4.65% to 4.55%. Senator Chris Wilson is the bill sponsor.
Lowering tax is the fairest way to reduce tax burden for Utahns and promote upward mobility. Rate reductions benefit all taxpayers and result in Utahns keeping more of their paychecks.
All but one member of the committee voted to advance the bill. Senate Minority Leader Luis Escamilla explains why she voted no.
Our housing and homelessness issues are something, and child care are big crises that we're not currently funding.
The almost $200 million bill still needs to pass the full Senate, House, and needs the governor's signature. Reporting live, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Native American students at half of Utah's public colleges could lose scholarships as an unintended consequence of a DEI bill. KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston continues our live team coverage, Eye on the Hill 2024. Peter?
Tim, in its current form, the legislature's anti-DEI bill would remove students' race, gender, and other identity factors from the college admissions process. But Bill Floor's sponsor, Senator Keith Grover, tells the Salt Lake Tribune that one unintended consequence could be the end of state scholarships for students from Utah's 8 native tribes. Grover and the University of Utah, which was the first state school to give these scholarships back in 2022, disagree on whether the bill actually makes an exception for its special relationship with the Ute tribe. As for how this could affect native students, one former education director for the Ute tribe says, of course it will. Negotiations are ongoing at the legislature. Reporting live, Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
Florida's Board of Governors voted to prohibit state funding to be used toward diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. Joe Saunders with Equality Florida spoke out against the move.
It intimidates, threatens, and in some cases eliminates multicultural student centers, Jewish student unions, Black student unions, Hispanic student unions, and of course LGBT student unions.
Florida is at least the 5th state to take action against DEI programs.
KSL's top national stories this hour. Nikki Haley is facing growing pressure from the head of the GOP to drop out of the presidential race. ABC's Jay O'Brien reports from Washington.
At a rally last night, Haley saying her campaign has raised $1 million since Tuesday night when she lost to Donald Trump in New Hampshire. But Haley losing at least one big donor for now. Reid Hoffman, the billionaire co-founder of LinkedIn, saying he's holding off making any new investments in Haley until he sees a path for her to win. And now Trump appearing to pressure Haley donors while again referring to her as bird brain. Trump posting on social media that any Haley donors are, quote, permanently barred from the MAGA camp.
Haley says she will stay in the race until at least the end of the South Carolina primary.
Gen Z is starting to participate more fully in our elections, and they're hoping candidates will begin genuinely connecting with them. KSL News Radio's Michael Commit is live with that story. Michael?
Amanda, young voters played a crucial role back in 2020 and 2022. However, it's still a generation that has a general distrust of political entities. Gabby Sinlason is a senior partner with the progressively minded group Elevate Strategies.
It's going to take a lot more meeting people where they are and having real in-person conversations to really change hearts and minds, and that takes investment.
She's seeing more local candidates making a genuine approach to young voters in Utah, and there's a hope that Gen Z will be more multifaceted and organic in how they participate in voting. Reporting live, Michael Commit, KSL News Radio.
The Biden administration is going through schools to teach parents about safely storing guns.
The Department of Education releasing a letter to school leaders, encouraging them to communicate with parents, caregivers, and communities about how safe gun storage can protect students in school and in their communities. The DOE says some 4 million children live in a home with at least one firearm that's unlocked and loaded. At the same time, the Justice Department unveiling what they call the most comprehensive guide on safe storage ever released by the federal government. Dave Packer, ABC News.
First look traffic now, and here is Andy Farnsworth.
Right now looking pretty good despite some wet conditions on I-15 at Point of the Mountain. We've got some heavy traffic, though, at Parley Summit. And a little bit on I-84 near the I-15 merge in South Weber and sort of North Roy, Riverdale area. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
We're hearing from a Utah father who recently lost his 5-year-old daughter in a crash involving a drunk driver. KSL TV's Debbie Worthen says Samir Lilack's injuries pale in comparison to the loss of his daughter Lenny.
She loved gymnastics and unicorns and the tidal wave ride at Lagoon.
Every time she wanted to go, she'd be to the boat, and she'd be just yelling down the... We didn't care if people looked at us or not. We'll be yelling out, to the boat, to the boat. And she loved that. And
Lilac had his 2 children with him when they were hit by a drunk driver. He and his son survived, but Lenny died a week later.
New developments this morning to a crash that claimed the life of a motorist. Murray police say the rider was hit by a drunk driver whose blood alcohol content was 4 times the legal limit. Police arrested the 48-year-old at the scene. She's now facing multiple charges. Police records claim her blood alcohol at the time of her arrest was .206. They have not released the name of the motorcyclist killed Tuesday night.
A family in Sandy is waiting to see what will happen to a neighbor's dog after they say it attacked their son twice. Daniel Anderson tells KSL TV the latest attack led to serious injuries on his son's leg.
Natural thoughts at that point were just like, how did it let it go this far?
Daniel is hoping the dog doesn't or isn't allowed to return to the neighborhood. The dog's owner has been cited multiple times.
The Box Elder County School District is doing away with its Chinese immersion program, and students like Luke Anderson say they want to see the program stay.
I'm disappointed. I think Chinese is going to do a lot for me in the future.
The district is dissolving the program because class size and enrollment keeps getting smaller.
Despite some precipitation out there, I-15 still rolling at a normal pace from Ogden to Provo. Hopefully it stays that way, but just in case it doesn't, we'll check your traffic and weather together next.
A legacy of news and information going back generations.
I'll have the radio on. I learned that from my mom. She's listened to KSL her whole life, and I grew up listening to KSL radio too.
I really enjoyed listening in the morning.
We have you covered at KSL News Radio.
At Shane Company, we believe we're all made to shine. This Valentine's Day, celebrate the love of your life, your best friend, or your best self with unique fine jewelry from Shane Company. We're passionate about sourcing the most beautiful and vibrant gemstones from around the world so everyone can shine bright. We take the time to ensure each piece of jewelry is expertly crafted so it can be treasured forever. Visit Shane Company and discover Valentine's Day gifts for everyone, your new crush or your soulmate. Let them know how much you care with fine jewelry designed by us. guaranteed for life, for free. Radiant red rubies, pink sapphires, diamond hearts, gorgeous jewelry with all the colors and symbols of love. This Valentine's Day, give a necklace with a gemstone as special as your love. A gold ring engraved with a date you'll never forget. Earrings that make their eyes sparkle. Give a gift that was made to shine. Shane Company. Fine jewelry since 1929.
I've been on my soda weight loss journey for about 4 months now, and I've lost 60 pounds. And these are some of the milestones that I've hit along the way, like tying my shoes or taking a picture without having to hold my breath, cutting down sizes on my belt, giving away clothes that are just too big now, having friends say they almost didn't recognize me, hearing from my doctor that my A1C is now half of what it used to be, finding out that my sleep apnea is almost gone. Hey, Soda, it stands for State of the Art, is the #1 weight loss company in America for client satisfaction and client results. And I'm living proof, and you can check out more of it at sodaweightloss.com. I want to share this with you. It's not a contest, it's a lifestyle upgrade. If you're ready to get serious about your health, enter to win Soda's Shape Up Showdown, because you could win a free year-long membership and a $2,000 wardrobe makeover. To enter, all you have to do, email ShapeUp at sotaweightloss.com. That's Sota Weight Loss, SOTA. Say it with me now. State of the Art.
We're looking at the unintended consequences of a DEI bill that is being kicked around on Utah's Capitol Hill. Peter Johnston has taken that on for us today as we continue our Eye on the Hill 2024 coverage. 6:09, time for a look at the drive with traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon, and we go back to Andy Farnsworth, the skinny Andy Farnsworth.
Thanks. I-15 rolling despite some wet conditions near Point of the Mountain. For now, it's not causing any extra travel time. You're still about 20 minutes between the Point and Salt Lake City if you're going to go through the whole valley. We do have water slowing you maybe. It's also that time of the morning where we start to see delays near 35th South and Mountain View, but the rain not helping. And then out of Tooele County, traffic still moving pretty consistently, although maybe just a touch under the speed limit in spots between Lake Point and the airport. Michelle?
Well, we're still seeing good speeds if you're driving to make your way into Salt Lake from South Willard all the way down to Salt Lake City. We do have some traffic cameras showing that there is some snow up in Ogden Canyon, and then we still have the delays. This is on the South Gate at Hill Air Force Base. Eric?
And we got snow on the roads on 189 through Provo Canyon this morning. That's causing some slowdowns if you're eastbound. Even before you get to Vivian Park, you're going to be in slowdown mode. And we got both directions below normal pace going out to the south end of Deer Creek Reservoir. I-15 Utah County northbound, southbound. That's looking good from Provo to Point of the Mountain. It's a 20-minute drive still. Common Spirit, hospitals, clinics, and caregivers all connected to advanced health care in Colorado, Kansas, and Utah. Healthcare with human kindness is here. Hello, human kindness. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
With the freezing line just above the valley floor, we'll go for rain, snow showers today. Minimal accumulation. Temperatures in the low 40s. 29 overnight, mostly cloudy skies. We'll go partly cloudy tomorrow, high of 40. Back up to 44 and partly cloudy by Saturday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Like we said, we've already been at our forecasted high for the day of 40, and right now in Salt Lake City, down a notch, 39.
You've heard the phrase gamification. You know, we turn everything into a game to help with the learning process. Yeah. FEMA is creating a video game to help teenagers learn how to be prepared in the event of a natural disaster. Is that interesting?
If it works.
Yeah. We'll find out more from Don Brinkerhoff just ahead on KSL News Radio.
That's next, but remember, you'll always find us streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Jackson Hewitt has a plan to get your tax refund fast with a buck here, buck there. Here a buck, there a buck, everywhere a buck.
You don't have to wait weeks for your tax refund. Get money sooner with a no-fee refund advance loan at Jackson Hewitt.
On this loan, there's a money today guarantee. E-I-E-I-Do.
Don't settle for chicken feed. Get fast bucks at Jackson Hewitt today. No-fee refund advance loans by Republic Bank offered to eligible clients. Money today guarantee if approved for a loan on a prepaid card. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Attorney Joe Cordell. Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Offices in Midvale and Clearfield, 1412 South Legend Hills Drive, Suite 200, Clearfield, Utah, 84015. Online at CordellCordell.com.
When your back pain is your foot's fault, this is Dean's story.
It was affecting me when I walked, which is a kind of a common activity.
Dean's chronic back pain had become a pain in the you-know-what.
At first, I just sort of ignored it, but eventually everything catches up to you.
Physically and mentally.
Back pain affects your mood. It really does.
But that's not the only connection Dean made.
A friend of mine suggested I go to the Good Feet store. I was a little confused. Why would I need a foot store? My feet are fine.
But he thought, what the heck? He had nothing to lose.
They took impressions of my feet, and with the footprint, they were able to get me a personalized arch support that, lifted pressure off my back.
So the source of your back pain was right under your toes.
It's something maybe I should have known, but I found out in the nicest possible way.
See how arch supports work for you with a free fitting. Find your Good Feet store at goodfeet.com.
Stop by the Good Feet store in Farmington, Riverton, or Sandy for a free fitting. Call 1-800-NEW-FEET or visit mygoodfeet.com.
It's only a minute of news. How long could it take? I do a lot of surfing late at night. I'm looking at all my favorite internet sources, Wall Street Journals, New York Times. People throw me ideas, but when I sit down in the morning and it's time to write, it has to resonate with me. I have to have something to say about it. It is my minute of news.
Jeff Kaplan's Afternoon News, 3 to 7 on KSL News Radio.
KSL News Time, 6:15. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
there's going to be some changes with how police can obtain doorbell camera footage from Ring. I'm KSL News Radio's Michael Kmitz.
Second, a proposed income tax cut that impacts all of us is advancing through the state Senate.
Third, let's get a look at the drive with traffic and weather together.
I-15 still holding up pretty well this morning. No crashes as of yet. Ogden to Salt Lake to Provo, but going up into the canyons, you're going to see more iffy traffic, including Provo Canyon, Parley's Canyon. Big and Little, though, both open for now, even though snow's coming down in Little Cottonwood. Hasn't created any restrictions yet. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
A combination of rain and snow today, high of 40. I'm Matt Johnson.
We've got rain right now and 39 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
And time for KSL's top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. As Nikki Haley begins campaigning in her home state of South Carolina ahead of next month's GOP primary there, Donald Trump prepares for another appearance in court. He may testify today in the E. Jean Carroll defamation case in New York. ABC's Aaron Katursky has been covering it.
An earlier trial determined Trump did sexually assault Carroll and found his statements denying it were defamatory. So on the witness stand, Trump is not allowed to say otherwise or accuse Carroll of lying or of having improper motives for bringing her claim. The judge has already threatened to boot Trump from court after the former president made disruptive side comments about the case that the jury could hear.
So the question is whether Trump will comply with restrictions on his behavior and testimony. President Biden getting an endorsement from the UAW during a political conference on Wednesday. The FAA has released final instructions to airlines to begin conducting inspections on those grounded Boeing 737 MAX 9 planes. UABC aviation consultant Steve Ganyard has more on the 12-hour inspection process.
It's important to understand what the problem was here. It wasn't a software change. It wasn't a problem with the structural design. It was 4 bolts that were missing. And so all the FAA was asking the airlines to do was to go back in and make sure that those bolts were installed and that they were appropriately tightened. If they are, and they all will be before they fly again, that airplane is perfectly safe to fly.
The U.S. Supreme Court ruled this week that federal agents do have the authority to cut the razor wire put in place by Texas officials at the border along the Rio Grande.
As of yesterday, Texas National Guard and state troopers in Eagle Pass were still rolling out concertina wire and preventing Border Patrol agents from accessing most of Shelby Park, which sits alongside the river.
ABC's Jim Ryan in Dallas. 6 nuns who were kidnapped in Haiti last week have been released, according to the Archbishop there. You're listening to ABC News.
Time for the KSL In-Depth. FEMA hopes that training that looks a lot like a video game will help teenagers be better prepared to face natural disasters.
KSL News Radio's Don Brinkerhoff has more.
With this crazy blizzard, I can't get home tonight. The roads aren't safe. What? The roof! The roof, it just caved in.
Disaster Mind takes players through 3 different scenarios: a blizzard, a flood, and a wildfire.
It's important that you are here. Natural disasters like blizzards can often end in tragedy, but it doesn't have to. That's why you're here, to change your future.
As the scenarios play out, you're asked to make a series of decisions. Making good decisions increases your health, while not so good decisions causes it to go down. You have the help of a mysterious guide as you receive chirps and other types of messages. Certain actions give you resources, and you'll get multiple pop-up messages with critical information. All of these are aimed at sharpening your critical thinking skills while under pressure.
Your adventure begins in 3, 2, 1.
Don Brinkerhoff, KSL News Radio.
Wow, that's interesting.
I would rather my kids learn those skills than, how to shoot somebody up or steal a car.
Exactly.
In Grand Theft Auto.
Exactly. I'm with you on that.
Let's hope that it works. And our thanks to KSL News Radio's Don Brinkerhoff on the In-Depth at 15 and 45.
6:19, traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Andy?
Amanda, travel through Salt Lake County still at the speed limit means about 20 minutes through the valley. And the only place you might see some reduced speeds is right as you come over the point. Looks like even the rain has eased up at the moment, not coming down like it was a little bit ago. Bangor, Mountain View just starting to fill in a bit in West Valley, but no delays out of Tooele County. Should just be your normal minimum travel time. Michelle?
Still looking good if you're in Weber or Davis counties. Still about a 35-minute travel time from Ogden down to Salt Lake. We do have some snow falling up in Ogden Canyon, and then a little bit of leftover delay as you're trying to get onto Hill Air Force Base at the South Gate. Eric?
And you got precipitation on the roads looking at Vivian Park in Provo Canyon. We've got one lane carved out through the snow that's already on the freeway there. So you do have slowing from Vivian Park out to the south end of Deer Creek Reservoir if you're going out to Heber City this morning. I-15 Utah County northbound southbound, that's at least rolling along at a normal pace. Start your dream kitchen or bath today at Bedrock Quartz, where it's only 7 days from template to installation. Visit new Murray or Spanish Fork showrooms or bedrockquartz.com. Bedrockquartz.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast. We got some activity out there today. Rain, snow showers, temperatures in the low 40s. Partly cloudy tomorrow. We're drying out, high of 40. Back up to 44 with high pressure building on Saturday. Partly cloudy skies. Upper 40s by Sunday, partly cloudy. We keep it mostly sunny on 48 on Monday. Tuesday, 48. We go to 50 by next Wednesday with mostly sunny skies. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Yeah, this is not good. After today's precipitation, none in the forecast for the next 7 days. Right now, 39 in Salt Lake City, and the 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
I was just looking at the hourly, Tim. I thought the storm was going to move out relatively. No, we've got rain or snow through like 9 p.m. tonight.
Yeah.
It's all day long.
Let it come.
Let it come. That's right.
We need it right now. We made such a good move at the beginning of the year to make up for the loss in December.
Yeah.
You hate to fall back behind here.
Right. So take your umbrella for sure.
Yeah.
Today, and we do appreciate our weather watchers who've been texting in to let us know it's snowing in Logan now. There's snow at Point of the Mountain, but the roads are good there. What else did we see? Some rain in Tremont and in Heber, snow in Heber, snow in Sardine Canyon, rain in Far West, rain in Grantsville, rain in Tooele. Wow. Thank you so much for all of these texts. And if you could let us know what it's doing in your neighborhood, we sure appreciate it. You just text us the conditions if it's safe for you to do so at 57500.
KSL News Time now, 6:21.
You're free now. Free to kick back, relax, and stream beyond your wildest dreams.
Rom-coms, slasher comps, space operas, space westerns, cupcake bake-offs on Mars.
Free to fill your feed with impossibly chonky chonkers who chonk harder than you ever thought possible.
Cats, corgis, babies, baby penguins, baby pandas, chunky baby pandas.
Free to make your smart devices do silly things.
Bowl of chips on the robo-vacuum.
And master devices that have no business being smart.
Smart forks, smart toothbrushes, smart tortilla makers.
Free to open a world of remote work and a portal into Gametopia.
Who's the boss now?
Free to be everything you imagine, and then some. That's how it feels to have Quantum Fiber. Quantum Fiber, your world unleashed. Learn more at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability. Service in select locations only.
If you are having difficulty, My Hearing Centers can fit you with a high-tech digital hearing aid that's powerful, barely noticeable, and that in some cases can help you hear better than a person with perfect hearing. Plus, many of My Hearing Centers hearing aids are Bluetooth compatible and rechargeable. If you already have a hearing aid, but it's 3 years old or older, you owe it to yourself to check out the latest technology from My Hearing Centers. To learn more, call My Hearing Centers at 801-438-7058. That's 801-438-7058.
Get deals on what you need during MVP's bonus days at Lowe's. Right now, save $20 on select 5-gallon ceiling paint or primer by HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams. Plus, get 15% off and earn 3 times bonus points when you buy 4 or more Purdy products. Because Lowe's knows savings, Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location while supplies last. Discount taken in time of purchase. See sales associate for details. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts if any. Valid 1/15 through 1/26. Subject to change.
Psst. Hey, Mark, remember, getting help from Progressive is so easy. You can use the mobile app, chat with us online, or call us.
And you pick now to tell me.
I couldn't miss Little Grace's ballet recital. Oh, thanks for inviting me, by the way.
Did I?
Because you know I'm always here for you.
Yeah. I can use the mobile app if I need help. Sorry, you're in my wife's seat, though?
Oh, yeah, I gotta go anyway. Tell Grace she nailed her chassé.
Get the help you need from Progressive with our mobile app, online chat, or over the phone. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
My name is Dale Pazinski. I volunteer with United Way to help the homeless in my community learn computer skills and build a basic resume. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. More than half of Americans say they can't afford an emergency expense of $1,000. A survey from Bankrate found 56% lack the funds and 35% would have to borrow the money to pay for it.
Now consider this. Nearly half of young adults say they are obsessed with being rich. A survey from Credit Karma and Intuit found that Millennial and Gen Z have that in common. When you think about the influencers that are on social media and the time spent
like
on social media, it used to be you'd grow up in your neighborhood and you knew your neighbors, you knew your friends, you knew your classmates, and you were all sort of in the same, economic box.
But now they're comparing themselves to...
Every day they're being compared to these things. A small number also reported having money dysmorphia, a distorted view of their own finances leading them to make poor spending choices.
I have never heard of that before. Money dysmorphia.
Yeah.
So they think they can afford $500 sunglasses.
Sure, they're going to pretend like they can because they want to put that post on social media.
Yeah, right.
That's tough.
It's an unlikely partnership. Victoria's Secret and Google Cloud announced a collaboration allowing the popular retailer to use Google's AI technology to create a personalized shopping experience. The lingerie company says this will enhance shopping trips.
All right. The markets this morning, these are futures, obviously, are mixed. Just like we ended the day yesterday at the bell on Jeff's program, the Dow was down by about 60 points. The S&P actually was up just a fraction, and so was the NASDAQ. Today, we, as far as futures go, pretty much the same thing. The NASDAQ is up 27. The S&P is up just a point. The Dow is down 64 points.
Provo Canyon is slow because of some slick road conditions, but the valley freeways are still moving at a good pace, even though we're getting snow in the higher elevations and rain in the valleys in Utah. We'll check it. Traffic and weather together coming up next. Every time I've had somebody from Superior Water and Air in my house, whether it's to fix my furnace or water heater or a plumbing issue, whatever it is, my stress level goes way down. Because I've been probably stressing. I've been stressing that this is leaking or that isn't working or the house isn't the right temperature or, I've been stressing. And then these wonderful technicians from Superior come and I stop stressing. I start feeling like, okay, all right, they've got it. This is going to be fixed. When you're a homeowner, stuff like this happens. Take a deep breath. Their demeanor on top of their competence is just so awesome that it helps me get back to focusing on what I can control,
Yeah, which I think is probably true for most people if you're in the middle of a, potential catastrophe with water flowing somewhere.
You're stressing.
But I also think it's the polar opposite of what some people feel like in inviting somebody into their house that they don't know, that then you're going to, head down into the basement and into the furnace room and But you never have that feeling with Superior
Never.
because all of their people are so well-trained and so friendly, and, they're going to do the best work for you without upselling you on something.
That last part is so important because I've had, and I bet most of our listeners have had, somebody come into the house before and said, you really ought to, sign this contract, or you really ought to replace this, because if you don't replace it, and you just want to say, look, I just needed you to come here and fix this one thing. And why are you still here trying to sell me, at an hour and a half? So, yeah, they'll never do that to you.
Here's a number to keep handy if you just need something simple done, or whether you do have a real problem at the house. 801-974-9090. You'll always find them online, too, at superiorwaterandair.com.
It's a week like this, regardless of who you think nominee should be for the Democrats or the Republicans, when you really need Boyd Matheson. Remember, politics is all about momentum, perception, and can you get to next? Elevate your political conversations with Boyd Matheson and Inside Sources, 1 to 3 on KSL News Radio.
Join Morris Columbus Travel and KSL Radio for the 28th Annual Utah Travel Expo this Friday and Saturday from 4 to 7 at the Mountain America Expo Center. UtahTravelExpo.com.
I think Dave Noriega is going to be out there in the afternoon, too. It is 6:29. Time for a look at the drive with traffic and weather together. Brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. We go back over to Andy Farnsworth.
Well, it's been pretty clean drive through the valley this morning. I-15 Draper to downtown. Still not seeing any delays, although traffic speeds may dip a little bit at the wet spots near Point of the Mountain. Mountain View beginning to slow a bit south through West Jordan to South Jordan. But looking okay in West Valley right now, Michelle.
Well, KSL Traffic Trooper giving us a heads up that we do have snow now in the Logan area. Also, if you're trying to make your way through Ogden Canyon, we see some snow there. Looking good as you're going on I-15 from Ogden into Salt Lake, but still a little bit of leftover slowing at the South Gate at Hill Air Force Base. Eric?
And we still got slowing through Provo Canyon this morning if you're heading out to Heber City from Provo or Orem. Expect to be below normal pace from Vivian Park past the Sundance turnoff all the way out to the south end of Deer Creek Reservoir. And once you're out in the Wasatch Bank, you do have a little bit of southbound slowing on US 40 going by Jordanelle Reservoir, but the northbound side, at least at the moment, looks clean from Heber to Park City. Update your kitchen with Durden's Appliance, where they meet any competitor's price. Visit Durdens.com or on 5th South and Bountiful. Durden's, brand you know at prices you'll love. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
My thanks to our weather watchers letting us know that it's snowing in Eagle Mountain. We have some rain in Ogden, rain in Provo. And the forecast says we're going to have rain and snow all day into this evening. So prepare for that. We'll start to warm up after today. We get up to 50 degrees by next Wednesday. Can you believe that? Right now, it's rain and 39 downtown.
You're listening to Utah's Morning News with Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon
on KSL News Radio.
102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good morning, KSL News Time, 6:30.
KSL's top story this hour.
Let's talk about that rain and snow. It's happening right now up and down the Wasatch Front this morning.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small is tracking the storm and joins us live. Adam?
Amanda, it's mostly rain in the valley, snow in the mountains, so thankfully the commute hopefully will not have a massive impact like we've seen with storms in the last couple of weeks. KSL meteorologist Matt Johnson says the storm will be especially good news for southern Utah. They still need a lot of help with their snowpack.
A lot of the energy is now going to be sent to southern Utah. Still anticipating some wet weather for the northern half, but you notice rain, snow showers into the lunch hour.
By this afternoon, things should mostly clear out in the valleys. By tonight, northern Utah won't have much of anything coming down, and that could be the last time we see anything potentially for the next week or so based on the forecast. Northern mountains, Matt is predicting 4 to 8 inches. The mountains around St. George and Cedar City could get 6 to a foot. Reporting live, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
A Utah County Task Force is crafting a plan to increase the number of homeless services available. KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston joins us live with the details. Peter?
Tim, most of Utah County's homeless population resides in Provo, Orem, and Springville, but there are no warming centers for unsheltered people outside of Provo, according to the Daily Herald. The county's Winter Response Task Force wants to change that. The group's president tells the Daily Herald that residents have asked for other towns to step up their services because they want to avoid tents on the streets. One idea is for micro-shelters to pop up in towns surrounding Provo, plus one-day bus tickets for unsheltered people when temperatures drop below 15 degrees. If the task force has no plan by August, the state has claimed a permanent homeless shelter could be coming to the county. Reporting live, Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
St. George is creating a water tracking app so homeowners can keep a close eye on the amount of water they're using.
Saratoga Springs has used an online water tracking portal for several years. It sends an alert if there is an unusual spike in usage. Subscribers can also track how much they're using hourly. When people have access to this resource, conserving water ends up being more at the forefront. Annalise Harrison with Saratoga Springs City says there's lots of useful information that's right at her fingertips.
Water this area for 20 minutes, but you don't necessarily how that converts into gallons. This way you can see that data.
Harrison says the alert feature has saved lots of people money. Subscribers are able to find leaks, broken pipes, and running toilets much earlier, saving water and keeping their water bill down. Britt Johnson, KSL News Radio.
KSL's top national stories this hour. Alaska Airlines says they'll be putting their 737 MAX 9 planes back in the air this weekend after getting inspection guidelines from the FAA. The inspections are required after one of their planes lost a door plug shortly after takeoff earlier this month.
The enhanced inspections will actually be good for Boeing because it'll be a chance to redevelop their reputation with the flying public for building safe airplanes. As long as we know that both Boeing and Spirit and each of the airlines that flies these airplanes is taking extra care to make sure that these bolts are properly installed and properly tightened, then there's really nothing for the flying public to worry about with this particular problem.
I saw just yesterday 45,000 flights happen every day in the U.S., and that's just inside the United States. ABC News aviation analyst Steve Ganyard says the inspection process takes a close look at the bolts that hold that door plug in place.
FEMA is using a video game to teach school kids about disaster preparedness.
Can you take on what's to come and keep yourself and your sister Quinn safe?
Disaster Mind takes players through a series of timed decisions aimed at sharpening their critical thinking skills. Messages from parents and others provide critical information to help that decision-making process.
Pop-ups will share news updates, time warnings, and upcoming decision points. You'll have to weigh options and make quick decisions that will affect your odds of survival.
A mysterious guide leads players through 3 different disaster scenarios. The game is available now at FEMA.gov/disastermind. Don Brinkerhoff, KSL News Radio.
A new poll shows that fewer Americans say they identify with any particular religion.
Spirituality and religion are often considered the same thing, or they're pitted against each other. But a study from the Pew Research Center shows that that's not always the case. 28% of Americans don't identify with their religion, and only 17% of those people are atheists. 20% are agnostic, and 63% say that they're nothing in particular. Of those who don't identify with the religion, 63% say they believe in something spiritual beyond the natural world. Alexandria Bonilla, KSL News Radio.
First look traffic now, and here is Andy Farnsworth.
Well, we're getting reports of snow coming down, but thankfully not sticking to the roads enough down in the valleys to where it's had a big impact. But it is sticking to the road in Provo Canyon. In fact, only looks like one good plowed lane going up the hill from Orem towards Heber. Traffic in Parley's okay for now. Big and Little still open without restriction. And wet roads on the west side of the valley starting to make people slow down on 21st South. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Thieves are taking advantage of the growing number of self-checkout lanes at grocery stores and other retailers. Utah County Sheriff Sergeant Spencer Cannon tells KSL-TV thieves will intentionally not scan items, or they'll use stolen credit cards to buy a bunch of gift cards.
At the very least, retailers would be wise to consider how they could make it more secure. It's costing other people a lot, pain and heartache.
He says self-checkout lanes are monitored, but not closely enough.
Police will now have to get warrants if they want to use Ring doorbell camera footage to investigate crimes. KSL News Radio's Michael Commit joins us live. Michael?
Amanda, in the past, law enforcement was allowed to request and access footage on these cameras, but that raised many eyebrows among privacy advocates. Now, police will need a search warrant to access doorbell footage, albeit Ring still reserves the right to share footage without the user's consent in limited circumstances. For now, police will still be able to post safety tips, updates, and community events on Ring's Neighbors app. The change starts this week. Reporting live, Michael Commit, KSL News Radio.
The Slam Dance Film Festival wraps up later today.
Slam Dance was born nearly 30 years ago from a pair of filmmakers after Sundance snubbed a film they submitted.
We have remained true to focusing on these new filmmakers
that are showing their works for the first time that people don't know yet, but they will.
One of the founders, Peter Baxter, says Slam Dance actually started at the University of Utah, then moved to Park City. One of the notable entries generating some buzz this year is A Home on Every Floor, in the short film documentary category, documenting the struggle for affordable housing. Mark Jackson, KSL News Radio.
I-15 is still rolling along at a normal pace along the Wasatch Front, despite some rain this morning. We'll check traffic and weather together coming up next.
Join your friends who rely on KSL each morning for the fastest routes to work and school.
I like traffic on the 9s.
So I need to get the kids up earlier so that my son isn't driving quickly in a snowstorm.
Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s.
On KSL News Radio.
Up to a 30% upfront bonus and 12% per year guaranteed growth for retirement. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and these are the highest guarantees with annuities I have seen in my life. When interest rates are this high, there are silver linings, and annuity guarantees are one of them. Up to a 30% bonus upfront for retirement income. On $100,000, that's up to $42,000 guaranteed in the first year. And it's because of the economy and its high interest rates. Don't let anyone, especially another financial advisor, tell you it's not true. Up to 30% upfront just for opening an account, and up to 12% per year guaranteed income growth. Don't miss out. This won't last forever. If you have an old 401k, get up to 30% upfront and 12% guaranteed growth for income today.
Call 801-899-7600. That's 801-899-7600.
Guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company.
Getting help with plumbing repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
IVC, Interventional Vascular and Vein Center, is having a New Year, New Leg special event on Saturday, January 27th. This will be a free screening for varicose veins at their office in Provo. Don't let leg pain slow you down in 2024. Why wait? Now is the time to kick off the new year with new legs. Come and learn why starting at the beginning of the year is ideal to get you ready for spring. IVC has been in business for over 20 years and has been voted the best vein center of Utah Valley for 10 years running. IVC's doctors, advanced practice providers, and sonographers will be on hand to answer your questions. So come see them Saturday, January 27th for a free varicose vein screening. Space is limited, so please RSVP right now. Visit ivein.com. That's the letter I, VEIN.com to schedule your New Year, New Legs free screening at IVC. Because life starts when the pain stops.
6:39 traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. And back to you, Andy.
I-15 still holding up in Salt Lake County, but I'm starting to see some city street backups increasing in West Valley along Mountain View and on Bangerter, especially near 3500 South. First delay of the morning on the 201 freeway between Bangerter and 5600 West for traffic heading over from Tooele County. Also, a little bit of slowing on I-80 right after you merge on the freeway in Lake Point. Michelle?
Well, we do have snow. This is going to be in Sardine Canyon, Logan, and also Ogden Canyon. But I-15, that is still a smooth ride going from Ogden all the way into Salt Lake. Eric?
In Utah County, right now, we've got good movement if you're northbound from Lehigh, from Provo all the way to Lehigh. Going through Provo Canyon, we do have those slick spots and snow on the road. Just one lane going by through the Vivian Park area, heading out to the Sundance turnoff. So you're going to have to be careful through there. You'll spend 33% of this year on your mattress. That's almost 3,000 hours. Start sleeping comfortably on a new Serta mattress from Two Brothers Mattress. Learn more at twobrothersmattress.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
We've got rounds of rain and snow showers, especially in the morning today, high of 40 degrees. Into the overnight, 29 degrees for a low and mostly cloudy skies. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high of 40. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Warm start to the morning, but that's why it's raining, not snow in the valleys. It's 39 degrees.
So Nikki Haley says she's seen a boost in fundraising since New Hampshire. We'll find out more from John Stolnis just ahead on KSL News Radio.
First of all, it's time for Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, and it's brought to you by the law offices of Jordan Wilcox.
We've suffered through a crippling bout with inflation, and of course you want prices to go back where they were. Maybe you think the government should be doing something or other, and everything will be great again. But bad news, prices are never, ever, ever going back down. I mean, sure, the price of this or that might fall, but when you look at the big picture, prices don't fall ever, except once in America's long and glorious past. And it was one of the darkest times in this country's history. To remember that time, you'd have to be 95 years old. In 1929, the stock market crashed, ushering in the Great Depression. The unemployment rate was 25%. Right now, it's 2%. If you were lucky enough to keep your job back then, your pay fell by almost half. It's like 1 minute you're making 70 grand, the next your pay's been cut to 38,000. In that environment, prices did fall. Everything fell off a cliff, including hopes and dreams, as Americans scraped and suffered, just hoping to get enough food on the table. Falling prices, deflation goes hand in hand with depression and economic disaster, so if you're expecting the prices should slide back to where they were in 2019, be careful what you wish for. At this moment, prices are up 19% since the pandemic began, and sorry to say, they're never going back. Rough as that sounds, things could be a lot worse.
Buddy, can you spare a dime?
Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
Sponsored by the Law Offices of Jordan Wilcox. IRS harassing you? The Law Offices of Jordan Wilcox can help. Visit taxhelput.com.
Back in 2004, got a letter from the IRS indicating that I was no longer married, and therefore they were to change my filing status to single.
We were really upset.
I'm Utah tax attorney Jordan Wilcox. Listen to what actual clients have had to say about working with us.
As soon as we met Jordan and he started talking to us, number one, he made us feel like we weren't the imbeciles that the IRS had made us feel like for so many years.
I'm Jordan Wilcox. Let's solve your IRS tax nightmare.
We have reduced our tax liability by over $42,000.
Visit taxhelput.com or call 801-657-5951 to schedule your free consultation today.
We can move forward with confidence and assurance that we're okay.
That's taxhelput.com.
It's marvelous, just marvelous.
KSL News Time, 6:45. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
a rain-snow mix in the valleys could have an impact on the drive-in this morning. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, a Utah County task force is crafting a plan to increase the number of homeless services available.
Third, it's traffic and weather together.
What roads seem to be contributing to the slowing we're seeing on the 21st South Freeway in West Valley right now, as well as some reduced speeds on Bangerter and Mountain View. I-15, first slowdown of the morning in Salt Lake County, in South Salt Lake, and a little bit of northbound slowing in Riverdale on I-15. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Periods of rain and snow showers today, especially in the morning, high of 40. I'm Matt Johnson.
We've got rain downtown and 39 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
Time now for KSL's top national stories.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Nikki Haley now back in her home state. She is vowing to stay in the Republican presidential race even after losing both Iowa and New Hampshire. ABC's Rachel Scott is in Charleston.
Haley now campaigning in her own backyard. She was born and raised here, serving as a popular governor for 2 terms. But South Carolina has swung toward Trump. Air Force veteran Jay Lombardo is supporting Haley, but concedes this is Trump's territory.
Do you think that Donald Trump will be dominant here?
Unfortunately, yes. But he just brings too much baggage with him.
Jay says he will end up supporting the eventual Republican nominee. And President Biden now saying it's clear that will be Donald Trump.
Donald Trump is expected here in New York today as the E. Jean Carroll defamation trial continues. Boeing 737 MAX 9 planes will soon be back in the air. The FAA releasing its final instructions for airlines to tighten the bolts of the door plugs like the one that flew off mid-flight 3 weeks ago. This is ABC News.
Time now for the KSL In-Depth. Former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley says she's seen a boost in fundraising after the New Hampshire primary, but she still trails former President Donald Trump by a wide margin in her home state of South Carolina.
We get the update this morning from America in the Morning's John Stolnis.
Campaigning in North Charleston yesterday, Haley with a bounce in her step after a good night of fundraising following her speech in New Hampshire Tuesday night.
We have raised $1 million since I gave that speech last night, online in small dollars. We have have had 200,000 donors from all 50 states. 95% of those donations are $200 or less. This is about real Americans.
And after Donald Trump's acceptance speech, in which he spent most of it criticizing Haley's speech and ridiculing the dress she was wearing, Haley drew a distinction between the two rivals.
And out of everything that he said in his rant, he didn't talk about the American people once. He talked about revenge.
Despite Haley's fundraising and enthusiasm, many in the Republican Party want her to drop out, including Republican National Committee Chair Ronna McDaniel on Fox News.
Looking at the math and the path going forward, and I don't see it for Nikki Haley. I think she's run a great campaign, but I do think there is a message that's coming out from the voters, which is very clear. We need to unite around our eventual nominee, which is going to be Donald Trump.
McDaniel is taking some heat for those remarks. Major party chairs generally remain neutral in these situations. Donald Trump's son Eric on Fox News thinks Haley is simply a puppet of Democrats and the left.
At this point, I truly believe she's being paid or something to be in the race as a pure spoiler, and the party should not put up with that.
New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu, however, who is backing Haley, says she needs to stay in the race if Republicans want to win a general election.
With Donald Trump at the head of the party, we lose. We lost in 2020. We should have had the red wave in 22. But he's a loser. His candidates are losers. I'm tired of losing.
On his Truth Social account, Trump has taken to calling Haley bird brain and said he does not want any of her campaign donors to come to him if and when she drops out, saying they are barred from the MAGA camp. Haley is lagging far behind in the polls in her home state, trailing 62 to 25 in a 538 poll out yesterday. I'm John Stolness.
It's interesting. We'll continue to follow it here. That's the In-Depth at 15 and 45.
Coming up on 6:49, time again for a look at your commute this morning. Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Definitely some snowfall in Provo Canyon, Andy.
Yeah, and it's actually starting to hit in a couple of other spots, too. The accumulation hasn't been too bad at the lower elevation. I've been watching wet roads, though, slow you down on the 201 freeway going from Magna to West Valley. That's the biggest freeway delay in the valley right now. But earlier than usual slowdowns on I-15 at 53rd and 33rd South. If you're driving through those two areas at the moment, you'll see a little bit of reduced speeds through there because of conditions. Michelle?
Well, we had a little bit of busy traffic. This is northbound I-15 in Riverdale. Looks like that has eased up again. We still have some slowing if you're trying to get on to Hilla Forest Base at the South Gate. Now, if you're trying to get through Ogden Canyon, there's also snow falling there and reports of snow in Logan. Eric?
Spanish Fort Canyon, Provo Canyon, both of those slow because of snowfall and wet conditions. So be careful and look out for potential slick spots. Through Provo Canyon, it's before you get to Vivian Park if you're eastbound, and that those conditions are going to last until you get to the middle portion of the road as it goes by Deer Creek Reservoir. I-15 Utah County, on the other hand, that looks good. Northbound from Spanish Fork to Point of the Mountain, the normal 24-minute drive time. Mr. Max, buy one, get one sale. Buy one suit for $299, get the second for $100. Any style, any occasion, free alterations, 9 locations. Mr. Mac. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-8 forecast. Today is the only active weather day through the next 7. 40 degrees today with rain, snow showers, especially in the morning. Partly cloudy tomorrow, 40. Back up to 44 with a mix of sun and clouds on Saturday. High pressure really building in here on Sunday, 47, partly cloudy. Might even see a little bit of valley haze. Upper 40s by Monday and Tuesday. Mostly sunny and 50 degrees. That's 10 above the normal by Wednesday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
We've got rain downtown this morning, and the 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
Just want to remind you that Dave and Dujanovic are going to be on the road this morning, 9 till noon. It's an important week for the homeless community here in Utah as volunteers head out for their annual point-in-time count where they try and get an idea of just how many homeless people we have in Utah. And they're going to be looking for volunteers to continue to help. So Dave and Debbie will be live from the Volunteers of America Women's Resource Center as KSL in the Community hits off with our first broadcast of the new year.
Coming up in just a moment, we'll get another look at the futures markets. Money news just ahead.
The monster is coming, and it wants you and your family.
And that's great news, really, because it's time for the Bear Lake Monster Winterfest, January 26th through the 28th. Winterfest is all about an incredible celebration of winter and all the fun it brings. So start Friday with Monster Winter Sports and Trails Day, a free event featuring fat tire bikes, snowshoes, snowmobiles, and tubes for the kids. Also a taste of Bear Lake, with local restaurants dishing up their tasty specialties. Then Saturday, it's the Monster 5K Walk and Run, a Monster Cisco Disco Tournament, chili cook-off, even a cardboard boat regatta, followed by the famous Monster Plunge. Come on, Bear Lake awaits. Visit BearLakeMonsterWinterfest.com for pre-registration times and locations. That's BearLakeMonsterWinterfest.com. Presented by Bear Lake Visitors Bureau and Bear Lake Chamber.
Hey folks, it's Doug and Kathy with Window World.
Doug, can you believe it's been 20 years?
What's been 20 years?
Well, since we opened our first Window World store.
That is amazing. Our motto today is the same: quality products, professionally installed, backed up by our awesome warranty.
And our team shares those very same values.
Come see us today. We have stores in Murray and Spanish Fork for your convenience.
Experience the Window World difference. Call 801-281-8111 or visit windowworldutah.com.
And we promise no baloney.
Dave and Debbie.
I want our listeners to feel like they have an advocate, that they have somebody that's going to fight for them, challenge the status quo or the pithy soundbite. We have a unique job where we have access to interviews and people that not everyone has. We take that seriously. So if we do feel like we're getting a spin, then we can challenge it. I love it when people tell me, I was just thinking about that question that you asked. I'm glad you asked that question. That's like the height of compliment.
I want our listeners to feel empowered to use the information that they've learned on the Dave and Dujanovic Show to help their families, to help make good decisions, help investigate other avenues to maybe protect their family's safety or protect their family's money. I'm hopeful our show leaves our listeners with a sense of empowerment so they can make the best decision possible for themselves and for their families.
Listen for Dave and Dujanovic 9 to noon on KSL News Radio.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Parent company Halion is recalling 8 lots of Robitussin cough syrup after a microbial contamination. The Robitussin Honey CF Max day and nighttime medicines are used for cold or flu symptoms.
We've had a lot of stories recently about layoffs, but here's one where Chipotle's in people.
Wow.
They need 19,000 workers ahead of what they call burrito season, which I did not know there was a burrito season, because at my house it's always burrito season.
Yeah, right.
It runs from March to May, which is the busiest time of the year for the fast casual Mexican restaurant. The company is also offering additional incentives to draw workers in.
Okay, back to the layoff side of things.
Oh.
TikTok is the latest tech company to trim jobs. They're laying off dozens of workers in its advertising and sales unit. This is interesting, though. They didn't give a reason for the layoffs, and it says impacted workers can actually immediately reapply for open positions at TikTok, which currently has more than 120 similar job listings.
I wonder if is AI taking over some of those?
Well, most of
functions?
the tech layoffs, we're told, are connected to AI, and even if it's not something that's immediately impacting those jobs, it is a diversion of resources by those companies like Google, so that they can
invest in AI,
invest and build up on the AI side.
Yeah. Let's get a look at your money at this moment. The Dow futures are up 69, which is 0.2%. S&P futures up 15, that's 0.3. The Nasdaq up 74, which is 0.4.
Starting to see some eastbound slowing now on the 201 highway going by the Mountain View and 5600 West exits. It's wet out there. Traffic and weather together when we come back.
Tired of living in your parents' basement or renting? You want to buy a home, but you were told that your debt-to-income ratio is too high. This is why you need a highly qualified mortgage lender. Rick at Loans by Rick has 22 years of experience and has helped hundreds of clients lower their debt-to-income so they can make the most important purchase of their lives and buy a home. As with any profession, there are different levels of mortgage lenders, so why not work with the best lender? One that can cut through the mortgage jungle and get you into a home. As interest rates come down, home values will go up, creating multiple offers which will raise home values higher. Don't wait to buy a home. Buy now. You can always refinance later and save hundreds of dollars. Let Loans by Rick guide you with your mortgage process. Call 801-809-SAVE or click loansbyrick.com. That's loansbyrick.com.
Rick Kirschenbaum, NMLS 241179, and Vintage Lending, NMLS 287106 are equal housing lenders. Some restrictions apply.
Winter has certainly made a return this year, and your furnace is working hard to keep your home warm and comfortable. It's often something that we take for granted until it stops working. Hello, I'm Brian Jackson with Manuel Plumbing and Heating. For over 100 years, my family has provided the best plumbing and heating experience in our area. I have the best HVAC service and repair technicians around, and we repair all major brands of furnaces. So if you find yourself in the cold this winter, call Manuel Plumbing and Heating. We'd love to help return comfort to your home again. Call 801-262-4671.
I give my all to my family. I give my best to my job. I give my time to my community. And to myself, I'm giving permission to drive the way I've always wanted, in luxury, in style, today, not someday. I'm headed to Jerry Seiner Cadillac to choose from an entire line of sleek crossovers in stock and the area's largest selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. I've earned a Cadillac. If you have too, then come in today to experience the Seiner difference.
At KSL News Radio, we have a 30-year legacy of honoring Utah teachers, but we can't do it without your help. Please tell us about an important teacher in your life on the KSL Teacher Tribute Wall, presented by Cypress Credit Union. Each month, one lucky teacher wins a $500 gift card from Cypress Credit Union, a $250 gift card to Harmon's, plus season tickets to Hale Center Theater. Say thanks to your teacher today at kslnewsradio.com/teacher from Cypress Credit Union and KSL News Radio. Traffic and weather together brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Andy?
Amanda, travel through Salt Lake County. You're going to be a little bit longer than usual right now. Instead of a 20-minute drive, it's probably up to 22, 25 minutes with a little bit extra slowing around 72nd and then some between 33rd South and I-80. If you're trying to cross from Magna to Salt Lake on 201, you're going to see brake lights all the way from Mountain View over to Bangerter Highway. Michelle?
Well, we're still seeing good speeds for drivers up in Weber and Davis counties. I do see that the slowdowns are starting on I-84 just north of Tremont, and we have reports of snow up in Logan and then Ogden Canyon. Eric?
And we still have slow movement through Provo Canyon, wet conditions and snow in the lanes. So even before you get to Vivian Park, it's going to slow down a little bit as you head on 189 out to Deer Creek Reservoir. And once you get to Heber City, though, everything looks back to normal. I-15 in Utah County, you are at a normal travel time. Northbound from Santa Quin to Point of the Mountain, that's a 30-minute drive. Out on the north part of Utah Lake, Saratoga Springs, Eagle Mountain drivers, you do have some snow out on Eagle Mountain. That's been reported by a couple of our listeners. But right now, the slowing is on SR 73 approaching the Mountain View Corridor intersection. Once you get on Mountain View and turn to go north and eventually east on 2100 North, all of that looks pretty good heading over to I-15. Start your dream kitchen or bath today at Bedrock Quartz, where it's only 7 days from template to installation. Visit New Murray or Spanish Fork showrooms or bedrockquartz.com. Bedrockquartz.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
This precip's going to last throughout the entire day today in one form, rain or snow. We may have already had our warmest temp of the morning. It's 39 downtown.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
It's 7 o'clock on Utah's Morning News. Good morning. I'm Tim Hughes.
And I'm Amanda Dixon. KSL's top story on the 7 o'clock report.
Eye on the Hill 2024. Utah lawmakers say another tax cut is in the works, and a new bill just passed its first legislative hurdle.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small begins our live team coverage. Eye on the Hill 2024. Adam?
Amanda, this bill would lower the state's corporate and income tax rate by 0.1% from 4.65 to 4.55%. Senator Chris Wilson is the bill's sponsor.
Lower rates increase incentives to work, save, invest, and spend money. If we want a strong economy, we do not want to tax productivity.
Now, the bill just cleared a Senate committee with a 7-1 vote. Only Senate Minority Leader Luz Escamilla voted no. She voiced concern with what she described as a lack of funding for issues like child care, housing, and homelessness. Now, the bill still needs to get the thumbs up from the full Senate, House, and the governor. If it does, though, the tax rate would drop on May 1st. Live at the state capitol, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
The Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Bill on Utah's Capitol Hill could cause some unintended consequences for a scholarship program at half of the state's public colleges. KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston continues our live team coverage. Eye on the Hill 2024. Peter?
Tim, if the anti-DEI bill working through the legislature becomes law, it could end the scholarships of nearly 900 indigenous Utah college students, according to the Salt Lake Tribune. That's because this current bill specifically bans scholarship groups from considering a person's race, gender, or other characteristics when choosing an applicant. The University of Utah started covering Native students' tuition and fees back in 2022, and Southern Utah University, Utah State University, and Salt Lake Community College all followed suit. Critics of the bill say this burns a bridge with Native tribes that took decades to build. A final vote could come later this week. Reporting live, Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
Another state is cracking down on DEI programs in schools.
Money for schools and education, not for racist legislation.
Students at Florida State University speaking out after the state's Board of Governors, which oversees the public university system, approved banning the use of public funds for diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, or DEI. The board defining DEI as any program, campus activity, or policy that classifies individuals on the basis of race, color, sex, national origin, gender identity, or sexual orientation.
ABC's Derek Dennis says Florida is the 5th state to take action against DEI programs.
Let's take a quick look at the weather here with Matt Johnson. We have a storm impacting the entire state today.
We are looking at some rain-snow showers across the Wasatch Front for today, especially in the morning. Temperatures will top out in the low 40s today. As far as rain or rain and snow combined, we'll call it water totals. That'll come out to about 1/10 to 1/3 of an inch. That's trended drier since yesterday's model data.
Texter just a moment ago saying it's snowing really good in Eagle Mountain. We are seeing a good amount of snow in the mountains, too, which is making getting through those mountain passes a bit tricky.
KSL's top national stories now. Nikki Haley isn't giving up after the New Hampshire primary, despite finishing roughly 11 points behind former President Trump.
The people in New Hampshire were really good to us, but let me tell you, when we got off the plane this morning, it's a great day in South Carolina.
She is still behind former President Trump in the polls in her home state of South Carolina, but she says over the past 24 hours she's raised another $1 million in donations from voters across the country.
The Arizona Republican Party chair has resigned following the release of an audio recording of a conversation he had with Senate candidate Carrie Lake.
In the recording, DeWitt asked Lake how much money she'd take in return for suspending her Senate campaign. Lake called for DeWitt to step down after the recording was released. DeWitt did announce his resignation, but says the recording is selectively edited and taken out of context. In his announcement, he claimed Lake set him up and blackmailed him, saying her team threatened to release a more damaging recording if he didn't step down.
KSL News Radio's Kate Orada says that DeWitt has been the GOP chairman for just over a year.
American voters are getting younger, and we're starting to see how they influence elections. KSL News Radio's Michael Commit is live with more. Michael?
Amanda, the issues that many young adults often face tend to fall by the wayside in national elections. And frustrated, this has led some groups of Gen Z voters to turn to the internet for trolling to sway opinion. And Gabby Sinlason is a senior partner at Elevate Strategies, and while her group is all for pushing young voter engagement, she believes there's a better way for Gen Z and candidates to engage in elections.
I think it's going to take politicians really speaking to those issues and seeing young people run for office to help, connect with those types of voters.
She also believes more candidates need to begin speaking to young voters in a way that they'll understand. Reporting live, Michael Commit, KSL News Radio.
First look traffic on the 7 o'clock report. How are we looking, Andy?
Well, we've got slow spots right now, Tim, including I-15 going up into South Salt Lake. Saw some flashing lights over on the right shoulder just before the turn to I-80. That's probably the reason for that delay. 201's got some slowdowns as well as you go through West Valley. Snowing, and I'm seeing wet conditions and reduced speeds along SR-73 as you come out of Eagle Mountain and head into Saratoga Springs. And lots of snow sticking to the road in Provo Canyon. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
2 more states are cracking down on social media apps and their use by kids. A Florida bill bans anyone under the age of 16 from signing up for most social media platforms. In New York City, lawmakers are also making social media access for kids more difficult.
In New York City, we are the first major city
in America to take this step.
The mayor has now designated social media as an environmental toxin and public health hazard. The city's health department issuing an advisory that cites declining mental health among young people. But social media companies like Meta, which owns Instagram and Facebook, have long touted their improved security features and parental controls to protect children. And supporters say social media has real benefits, allowing teens to connect and find people with like interests.
Utah's social media law requiring age verification and parental permission has been put on hold until October.
We have an update now to a deadly motorcycle crash that happened earlier this week in Murray. Police say the driver who hit the rider had a blood alcohol level 4 times above the legal limit. That driver now behind bars, facing multiple charges. Police have not released the name of the motorcycle rider who was killed on Tuesday night.
We're hearing from a father this morning who is hoping people will understand the impact of drunk driving. He tells KSL TV's Debbie Worthen he lost his 5-year-old daughter after being hit by a drunk driver.
As Samir Lilac sits in his living room, he's trying to process the death of his daughter Lenny.
She was like my little princess.
He says she was the light of his life.
Every morning she'll come around that corner and run full speed and give me a hug.
Lilac says he and his son were also injured in the crash that happened last Sunday.
A family in Sandy is hoping an aggressive pit bull won't be coming back to their neighborhood after the dog attacked 8-year-old Jeffrey Anderson twice. He shared his experience with KSL TV.
The dog kind of ran out, grabbed my leg, started shaking it. Everybody was trying to get the dog off. And I was just sitting there, just screaming in pain, trying to even get the dog off myself a little bit. But it just wouldn't let go.
Poor little guy. The dog's owner was previously cited for another attack. A judge is going to decide what to do with the dog.
Netflix is making changes to their subscriptions again. The streaming service added 13 million new subscribers last quarter after cracking down on password sharing.
I think what we're seeing here and what is so interesting is that they've had these 2 levers to pull. One is the paid sharing crackdown on freeloaders. That is working, and they're saying it's working so well that we're going to be able to raise prices. And then the other piece of this is the ad-supported lower price subscription. And these 2 things really work together.
CNBC's Julia Borston says young adults kicked off their parents' accounts are opting for the lower-priced ad version of Netflix.
I just want to make sure I understand. 13 million more subscribers, and it's working so well that they need to increase the price.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's coming. All right, traffic and weather together here at 7:09 is brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Here's Andy Farnsworth.
Well, right now, travel through Salt Lake County has been a little bit struggling in South Salt Lake. Got some flashing lights on the right shoulder just before the turn to I-80 in South Salt Lake. Traffic's backed up to the 3300 South exit. 215 still moving pretty well on the west side, but the 21st South Freeway, the wet road conditions slowing you down between Mountain View and Bangerter Highway. Tooele County looks a little bit busy only in Stansbury Park northbound and a little bit of southbound slowing in Erda on SR 36. Michelle?
Well, we've had a new delay pop up. This is northbound I-15 in the Clearfield area right by the Air Force Base entrance on the west side. Looks like it might be due to some road issues that's just popped up on our board. Now, if you're on I-15 headed southbound, you're seeing good speed still from Ogden all the way down to Salt Lake City. Expect snow up Ogden Canyon. Eric?
And we have some snow falling out in Eagle Mountain and corresponding slowdowns, it seems, on SR 73 as you work your way through Eagle Mountain over to Saratoga Springs this morning. If you're over on 2100 North, you've got some slowdowns, probably more of the usual variety, heading from Redwood over to the freeway and through Provo Canyon. That's still slow from Vivian Park all the way to the Deer Creek Reservoir. We also have a crash over at Deer Creek Reservoir, and wet conditions, snow on some of the roadways still as you head through that area. Save up to 20 cents off per gallon using Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Find a Sinclair station, store amenities, purchase history, and enjoy a simple, secure way to pay for fuel. Download the free app today. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL hourly forecast. Temperatures in the upper 30s and low 40s at 7 a.m. with rain, snow showers in the area. Into the lunch hour, we've got rain, snow showers holding on and kind of breaking up as we work into the afternoon. Temperatures top out in the low 40s. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now, 39 degrees.
It's not a good time of year to have a recall of cough syrup.
No.
This is just not good. Yeah. It's a specific kind. We'll tell you more in just a moment.
Brand new numbers out this morning show the U.S. economy grew at a surprisingly strong 3.3% over the last quarter. CNN business correspondent Rahal Solomon breaks down the report.
We're seeing the most growth. The contributors, consumer spending, which I should say is a huge part of U.S. GDP. It's about 2/3 of GDP. So consumer spending was strong for both goods and services, right? So we're seeing really strong growth in spending in areas like accommodations. People are still traveling, going out to eat. We also saw positive and strong growth for government spending, for business inventory. So you add it all up, you get 3.3% on an annualized rate.
She says the GDP matters because it's a good overall look at the economy. She says the GDP numbers also impact the Federal Reserve's decision on whether or not to cut interest rates.
The Utah Utes men's basketball team has had a lot of success at home but struggled on the road. That played out again last night as the Utes lost to Washington State by 22 points. And the Utah Jazz hope to snap their current losing streak as they visit the Washington Wizards tonight. You'll be able to listen to that game right here on KSL News Radio with a tip at 5 o'clock.
Look at this, a porch pirate caught on camera this winter, getting some national attention.
Doorbell footage shows the thief bark at the mailman before grabbing the package and running away. The thief is a dog. Porch pirates, those who steal packages off porches and doormats, usually take advantage of the increase in online shopping during the winter, and this dog was no different. The footage even shows them making sure the coast is clear before grabbing it and running. The owner of the package and the owner of the dog had a good laugh about it and say not to worry. The dog has not risked their status as a good boy. Alexandria Bonilla, KSL News Radio.
Can you just see this dog looking around? Is anybody watching? Can I get a hold of this package? I smell beef.
Yeah, maybe there was something in there coming for the dog.
Comedian Jon Stewart is making a return to The Daily Show. Kind of.
Jon Stewart is coming back to The Daily Show, but only on Mondays. He plans to stay through this year's election cycle. A rotating lineup of show regulars will host the rest of the week. Stewart's first show is February 12th. Stewart hosted The Daily Show for 16 years, replacing Craig Kilborn. Trevor Noah replaced Stewart in 2015. The show has not had a permanent host since Noah left in late 2022. I'm Archie Zaraletta.
Trending this hour on the 7 o'clock report, a classic movie returning to theaters this month. Warner Brothers is going to bring The Wizard of Oz back to the big screen for its 85th anniversary. Shows are scheduled for January 28th, 29th, and the 31st.
Oh my gosh, I have to take Laurel. That is one of her all-time favorite. I hear this music coming out of her iPad when I'm across the
Wicked
the
Witch
room.
doesn't scare the bejeebers out of her?
No, she loves this music. Yeah.
Okay.
Another classic is celebrating today. It's been 61 years since the Beatles got their first #1 hit with I Want to Hold Your Hand. It topped the charts for 5 weeks.
Great stuff. KSL News Time, 7:15. The 3 things you need to know this hour. First,
a new bill that would further lower Utah's income tax rate has passed its first legislative hurdle. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, Netflix says they're going to be changing subscription prices again.
Third, it's traffic and weather together.
I-15 traffic still struggling in South Salt Lake with delays coming in towards the I-80 turnoff. We've got some northbound delay now starting to come to a stop near the 650 North exit in Clearfield. Southbound going through that area where you'd think there'd be delay. Not bad at all. It's just the northbound side. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
A combination of rain and snow today, high of 40. I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now it's raining and 39 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
And time for KSL's top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The state of the U.S. economy is strong, a lot stronger, it appears, than most analysts thought it was. With the latest on the gross domestic product numbers just released by the government, here's ABC's Jim Ryan.
The advance estimate for the fourth quarter of 2023 shows the gross domestic product rising at an annual rate of 3.3%. That's lower than the quarter before, but well above what analysts were expecting. The GDP has been riding a wave of consumer spending on both goods and services that extended into the final 3 months of 2023.
The Labor Department says applications for unemployment benefits also rose last week by 25,000 compared to the week before, due in part to a flurry of job cuts in the media and technology sectors. Former President Donald Trump found liable for the sexual assault of writer E. Jean Carroll in the mid-90s and for defaming her about it is expected in court today and could testify. ABC's Aaron Katersky at the courthouse says Trump has been ordered, however, to limit his comments.
Attorneys for E. Jean Carroll have already expressed concern
concern that Trump's going to use his testimony to sow chaos or try to turn the trial into some kind of a political campaign event. Carol says Trump is still defaming her, both on the campaign trail and in social media posts that he's made from the courtroom. She's seeking at least $10 million in compensation.
United and Alaska making plans to put their Boeing 737 MAX 9 planes back in the air following lengthy inspection guidelines released by the FAA.
The FAA releasing its final instructions for airlines to inspect MAX 9s. United already saying it's putting the planes back in the air by Sunday. Alaska Airlines even earlier, Friday. This after 3 weeks of investigating that door plug that flew off the Alaska Airlines flight 16,000 feet in the air.
ABC transportation correspondent Gio Benitez checking the markets just before the bell. Dow futures are up 77 points. You're listening to ABC News.
Let's go in depth now. A cough syrup used by millions of Americans is being recalled.
ABC's Ariel Reshef is following the story and has the latest.
That nationwide recall of the popular cough syrup Robitussin is due to microbial contamination. The maker of the drug saying it's voluntarily recalling 8 lots of the cough syrup, including Robitussin Honey Adult for daytime and for nighttime. Experts say ingesting the contaminated medication could lead to deadly infections for at-risk people. And for those who are not immunocompromised, life-threatening infections are not likely to occur, but experts say serious symptoms that could necessitate medical intervention cannot be completely ruled out. So far, there have not been any reports of adverse events related to this recall. The company now advising anyone with those products to stop using them immediately.
So 8 lots of, and she said the honey kind, right?
Yeah.
The honey kind, both day and nighttime.
Be helpful if they, had a lot number or something that people could look at. But if you've got
I'm
it on the
going to
shelf,
go online and see.
Yeah, why not? Why would you take the chance at this point?
Right. Anyone starting to feel worse after taking the cough syrup should contact their doctor.
Or if you see probably changing symptoms afterwards.
Right. Because we go through Robitussin in my house.
And here we are in the thick of the winter, which is the absolute worst time to be having something like this come up. We'll keep an eye on it, see if we can find a lot number or something that might help you identify whether you've got it on the shelf or not. That's the In-Depth this morning at 15:45.
Right now, coming up on 7:19, traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. How's it looking, Andy?
Well, Amanda, if you're heading on I-15 into downtown, you've got delays through South Salt Lake with some slowdowns because of flashing lights just before the turn to I-80. Likely a crash in South Salt Lake, but haven't been able to see it up close. However, the slowing does go all the way back almost to 3900 South overpass. 201 delays on the freeway from Mountain View to Bangor have cleared out for the moment. But it is starting to fill in on Bangor already down in South Jordan near that 9800 South intersection. Michelle?
Well, we have some delays. This is in northbound Clearfield. This is about 650 north. They've had the 2 right lanes blocked in that area doing some road maintenance. Looks like they may have just pulled away, but you're going to still see some leftover slowdowns for a few minutes till they get that back under control. Headed southbound I-15 from Mary Slatersville all the way down to Salt Lake City. You're seeing good speeds there, but just a heads up, if you're headed up the higher elevations, up Sardine Canyon or Ogden Canyon, you can expect some snow conditions. Eric?
Snow on the roads, playing with the drivers out in Provo Canyon and causing delays for eastbounders from Vivian Park out to Deer Creek Reservoir. And if you're on US 40 northbound from the River Road intersection, that's north of Heber, up past Jordanelle Reservoir to the turnoff to go to Park City. And if you take that turnoff and head into town, westbound Kearns Boulevard, that's very slow this morning, though. That's more due to usual conditions rather than current weather conditions. I-15 Utah County northbound, southbound, that's looking good. Update your kitchen with Durden's Appliance, where they meet any competitor's price. Visit Durdens.com or on Fifth South and Bountiful. Durden's, brands you know at prices you'll love. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast. We got some activity out there today. Rain, snow showers, temperatures in the low 40s. Partly cloudy tomorrow. We're drying out, high of 40. Back up to 44 with high pressure building on Saturday. Partly cloudy skies. Upper 40s by Sunday, partly cloudy. We keep it mostly sunny on 48 on Monday. Tuesday, 48. We go to 50 by next Wednesday with mostly sunny skies. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
39 degrees to start the morning. It was actually 40 when we got here. The 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
I just took a look online, Tim, to confirm about this Robitussin recall.
Oh, yeah.
And it is just the honey variety. And it is specifically the honey CF Max Day for adults. and then nighttime for adults. So I just want people to know if they have kids Robitussin that's not the honey variety, that you're fine, because I probably have 6 bottles of the kids Robitussin in my house. But it's only the honey kind. You can, if you Google Robitussin recall, you can see a picture of the box, so you can compare it to what you have.
Still no lot numbers or anything.
I don't see that, no. But I bet you could find that on the Robitussin website. I haven't looked that up yet.
Yeah. We mentioned a moment ago the GDP numbers as we wrapped up the fourth quarter, 3.3% right now, and the markets immediately started to react. Everything's in the green. We'll see where they're headed when we check Money News next.
This is Derek Miller speaking on business. American Express began as a freight forwarding company in 1850, earning a reputation as a company people could trust. One thing has remained constant through the company's history: its commitment to providing the world's best customer experience every day. Amex's Senior Vice President of Commercial Underwriting, Brady Fife, shares more.
American Express opened its first Utah office in 1910, offering express delivery services. We have had a consistent Utah presence for over 100 years and are proud to be the official payments partner of the Utah Jazz and Delta Center, which includes a dedicated entrance for all American Express card members. Today, Amex's Utah office is located in Sandy. There are about a dozen business units within our local market, ranging from finance and risk to technology, supporting our consumer, commercial, merchant and network, and international business segments. Utah is also the headquarters of American Express National Bank. Since our earliest days, we've striven to find new ways to have our customers and colleagues' backs. This year, we ranked #1 in credit card satisfaction for consumer and small businesses by J.D. Power, and we're the #3 best company to work for in the U.S. by Fortune magazine.
While American Express's business has transformed over the past 173 years, from freight forwarding to innovative digital products, its 77,000 global colleagues remain committed to earning customers' loyalty for the long haul. I'm Derek Miller with the Salt Lake Chamber, speaking on business.
Healthcare with human kindness is here. It's at Common Spirit Health. Hospitals, clinics, and caregivers all connected to advance healthcare in Colorado, Kansas, and Utah. Together, we have a common purpose: partnering with you in health and healing using powerful medicine, powerful technology, and the greatest power of all, human kindness. You'll know it when you see it, because human kindness is in every care site and in every caregiver. Common Spirit Health. Hello, human kindness.
Transform your old, outdated kitchen with Half Price Granite. For a limited time, Half Price Granite is offering special pricing starting at $25 per square foot installed. That's lower than most big box stores. These prices are some of the lowest around. Granite, quartz, marble, and quartzite, all starting at $25 per square foot installed. Call 801-486-1700 or visit halfpricegranite.com. Half Price Granite. Affordable luxury.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Anyone who buys internationally may have to wait even longer for their package. Royal Mail is considering a big change by only delivering mail 3 days a week instead of every day. The proposal is to help the centuries-old institution cut costs.
Kind of the good news, bad news thing here for Tesla. Their net income more than doubled last quarter, but Elon Musk is projecting a notably lower sales growth this year. It posted net income was $7.93 billion from October through December, making $2.49 billion or 71 cents per share. Their last quarter revenue fell below the projected amount.
Google's newest Pixel phone has a feature never seen on a cell phone before. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
A working thermometer.
So you can tell what the temperature is in your pocket.
You can use the phone to scan your forehead, and it will tell you if you have a fever.
Oh, that kind of
or
thermometer.
not. And if you've just been on, or if you've just been on your phone too long, I suppose. But yeah, it says that it could actually take your temperature. That's fascinating.
Why not? They already have apps that, monitor your heartbeat and everything else that goes along.
That's fantastic.
Well, so the GDP numbers come out, and immediately the markets all take a leap here. The Dow is up 110, which is about 0.3%. It had been flirting with negative territory to start the morning. The S&P is up 21, that's 0.4, and the NASDAQ all of a sudden up 100 points or 0.5 percentage point.
Northbound I-15 flow has been normal from Murray to South Salt Lake. We'll check the rest of the commute as well. Traffic and weather together coming up next. I heard from a daughter the other day who started doing the SOTA weight loss program after her mom did. So the mom starts the program and she's lost like 30 pounds. And the daughter, who's getting married this summer, decides, I want to lose the weight too. So and the mom wanted to have a partner. So the mom and the daughter are both on the SOTA weight loss program, losing weight. And wouldn't that be, can you imagine if you and someone in your family, maybe it's a spouse or a child, would do this together? And there is a way right now that you can enter to win a year of the program for free.
We'll tell you more about that Shape Up Showdown here in just a second. But that story reminds me of why SOTA is so successful, because you always have a partner, even if mom is not there, even if your daughter doesn't want to go onto the program.
Right, you are.
And that partner is a nutritionist who becomes a friend over
she is.
the length of your weight loss journey. And you can reach out to that nutritionist anytime you want. Amber, my daughter who lost 42 pounds, did it at the grocery store. She did it at a restaurant. And the nutritionist would take a look at the menu online and say, eat that, but don't eat that.
Yeah.
You know, ask for that, but have them withhold that.
And they stay with you after you've lost the weight. So instead of me going right back up like I did every time before, it's been 2+ years now. And I still check in with my nutritionist, and I've kept the weight 34 pounds off.
All right. Now, how do you win a full year of SOTA's amazing program? And, by the way, a $2,000 wardrobe makeover in their Shape Up Showdown?
You just email shapeup@sotaweightloss.com. That's shapeup@ SOTA, SOTA, weightloss.com.
So, SOTA stands for, of course, State of the
Art.
Tim and Amanda.
Do I look forward to reporting the news? Yes, insofar as it helps me understand what's happening.
We know that it's important information that's going to impact people's lives, and so that makes the job of reporting the news that day easier.
Utah's Morning News between 5 and 9 on KSL News Radio.
The Cougars tear into their first Big 12 conference games.
Spencer finds him for the hammer.
Saturday at 11, it's BYU, Texas. BYU, Texas. Pre-game coverage. Saturday at 11 on Utah's legacy home for the Big 12 and the BYU Cougars. KSL News Radio.
7:29, and a look at traffic and weather together is brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Looks like we're going to deal with these wet roads all day long, Andy.
Yep, and thankfully volumes will dip a little bit later this morning, but for now we're getting into the peak part of the commute. We've already got slowdowns from Murray into South Salt Lake because of what looks like a crash up near the I-80 turnoff. Also seeing some minor slowdowns coming up past 106 South. Just got a report of a crash, supposed to be on the right shoulder in that stretch between 90th South and I-215 in Murray, Sandy, and Midvale. Michelle?
Well, looks like you're going to run into winter conditions now if you're on I-15 or I-84 just north of Tremont, and have snow reported up in the Logan area as well as the higher elevations up in Weber and Davis counties. If you're making your way southbound I-15, you're also slowing down as you're going through Riverdale. Eric?
In Utah County, the freeway looks fine. No problems there. But out in Eagle Mountain, where we've had snow this morning, you've got wet conditions on SR-73 and slowing as you head east over towards Mountain View Corridor. And now, once you get on Mountain View, you're going to have your usual slowing as that turns into 2100 North at Redwood Road. Going out through Provo Canyon, still slick and slow, and you've got slowdowns from Vivian Park up to Deer Creek Reservoir. For a top-quality kitchen or a bath with top-quality craftsmanship, call 3-Day Kitchen and Bath. They're always on time with no delays and meet all deadlines. Visit 3daykitchen.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
Well, you're right about that storm lasting all day. I just looked at the hourly forecast, and it looks now like the snow and rain is going to last through 10 p.m. approximately. So no rest today, but that's good. We need it for sure, especially since it'll be dry for the next 7 days after that, and warm. So today we'll only get to 40. But then we start to warm up. Saturday, 44, Sunday, 47, 48, Monday and Tuesday. And then, here you go, Wednesday of next week, mostly sunny and 50 degrees. Right now it's raining and 39 downtown.
You're listening to Utah's Morning News with Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon
on KSL News Radio.
102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good morning, KSL News Time, 7:30.
KSL's top story this hour.
Rain in most of the valleys with some snow mixed in, and we've seen a good amount of snowfall in some of our mountains.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small is tracking the storm and joins us live. Adam?
Amanda, right now I'm driving on I-15 in Salt Lake County, and I'm a little relieved to tell people that it doesn't look like it's going to be nearly as much of a headache of a morning commute as it was with some previous storms we've had over the past couple of weeks. Right now, it's mostly just rain coming down right here in Salt Lake County. I know we have been seeing some reported snow, especially north of Ogden in some areas. And I know around Eagle Mountain, we've been getting reports of it out there. So unless you're in one of those outlier areas, it looks like it's mostly just a rain-ridden commute rather than a snowy one. So it should make the drive-in pretty good. I also have very little visibility problems. It's also not a ton of rain, so you're not getting a ton of water splashed in your face. So that definitely makes it for a much easier drive. KSL meteorologist Matt Johnson has told me that this storm is really going to have a bigger impact on southern Utah, which is really good news because their snowpack is still well behind where it needs to be for this time of year. But we are going to continue to see rain-snow mix in the early afternoon. We might start to see a taper off in the valleys in early, late afternoon. But then through the night, we're really going to continue to see mountain snowfall. Matt's calling for 4 to 8 inches in the Wasatch Mountains or in the northern mountains here in Utah. And southern Utah, though, the mountains around Cedar City, St. George, could be looking at 6 inches to a foot, which would be great news for them. Reporting live along I-15 in Salt Lake County, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
A Utah County task force says more cities need to step up to help the unsheltered. KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston is live with details. Peter?
Tim, currently Provo is the only city in Utah County with warming centers for unsheltered people, and it's also where most homeless individuals in the county end up staying. Now, Utah County's Winter Response Task Force wants to bulk up homeless services in other towns. One proposal would grant homeless individuals a one-day bus pass to move to new facilities like micro-shelters. What leaders in Utah County say they don't want is a permanent homeless shelter. However, a formal shelter could be what the county gets if leaders don't have a winter response plan by August, when state leaders say they could make one instead. Reporting live, Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
Today, the Dave and Dujanovic Show will be broadcasting live from the Women's Resource Center here in Salt Lake City to talk about what's needed to help those experiencing homelessness.
A Utah City hopes a new water tracking app helps people think more about their water use. KSL News Radio's Britt Johnson has more.
St. George wants people to be able to track their water usage and hopes people will realize how much they're using and find ways to cut back. Saratoga Springs has something similar, an online portal that they've used for several years. Annalise Harrison with Saratoga Springs City uses the portal personally and says it really helps her not only cut back on her water usage, but cut back on her bill.
Saratoga Springs portal gives alerts to subscribers if there is an unusual spike in usage. People can even track their usage hourly.
37 MAX 9 planes back in the air by this weekend after being inspected for loose bolts. ABC's Andy Field explains.
Alaska Airlines saying it hopes to have its 737 MAX 9 jets flying again by Friday. United thinks theirs will take off Sunday. That optimism after the FAA approved a thorough inspection checklist to ensure none of those Boeing aircraft loses another door plug panel in flight.
200 of the Boeing jetliners were grounded after an Alaska Airlines flight lost a door plug.
For the first time in decades, the rate of religiously unaffiliated Americans is slowing.
28% of adults don't identify with a religion. Within that group, 17% of them identify as atheists, 20% are agnostic, and 63% say that they are nothing in particular. That's according to a study from the Pew Research Center. The study says that not identifying with a religion doesn't mean someone doesn't believe in a higher power. 63% of those who are non-religious say they believe in something spiritual beyond the natural world. It also says that most of the unaffiliated Americans have a neutral take on religion, with a mix of positive and negative opinions about it and what it does for society as a whole. Alexandria Bonilla, KSL News Radio.
First look traffic. Andy's back in the traffic center.
And right now, travelers on I-15, they just cleared a problem over to the right shoulder on North 15 near 33rd South. We had one up closer to I-80 a few minutes ago. They cleared that up, so now we'll see how long it takes this delay between 45th South and I-80 to thin. We've got some slowing going up the hill to Point of the Mountain on I-15 right now. Southbounders traffic coming out of Ogden's pretty busy in that roadwork stretch just before Riverdale. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Police departments say thieves are finding they can get away with a lot at self-checkout lanes in stores. Utah County Sheriff Sergeant Spencer Cannon says those lanes are monitored but not closely enough.
If they have, 5 boxes of cookies, they scan 4 of them. Self-checkout is probably the easiest way for them to get away with it.
He says thieves also like to use stolen credit cards in those lanes to purchase gift cards.
Police departments now have to take an extra step before using Ring video doorbell footage. KSL News Radio's Michael Commit is live with that story. Michael?
Tim, Ring's Request for Assistance tool on their Neighbors app allowed police to request and then access that footage. It's this relationship between the company and law enforcement that made privacy advocates feel very concerned.
Critics say residents could use this feature to report only what they saw as suspicious behavior, and this could lead to a state of constant surveillance or even racial profiling. Now, police can still get this footage, but now they'll first need to get a search warrant. Reporting live, Michael Commit, KSL News Radio.
The Slam Dance Film Festival is wrapping up as it plays alongside the Sundance Film Festival here in Utah. KSL News Radio's Mark Jackson reports.
Going on its 30th year, Slam Dance Film Festival focuses on smaller independent films. One of its founders, Peter Baxter, says some of Hollywood's biggest filmmakers have history with Slam Dance, including Christopher Nolan, known for such projects as 2008's The Dark Knight, follow-up to Batman Begins.
He played his first feature following here. There was a great sense of discovery with Chris at Slam Dance when he played here. And then, of course, his next film, Memento, then played at Sundance.
Slam Dance takes place in Park City at the Yarrow and in Salt Lake City at the University of Utah. Mark Jackson, KSL News Radio.
About 5 minutes ago, we got a text from one of our listeners out there saying that there's a ladder between the fast and HOV lanes southbound at Point of the Mountain. Something that could cause some real problems. We'll check traffic and weather together next.
Spend time with KSL News Radio and get a deeper understanding of the world around us.
I do listen to KSL so much because you've got voices like Boyd Matheson.
I listen to him every day.
You can trust him.
Inside Sources, weekdays 1 to 3.
On KSL News Radio.
If you've ever set New Year's resolutions before, you know how difficult it is to follow through because you have to wait to see the results. What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and in honor of your New Year, New You resolutions, Any Hour Services is having our New Year, New System sale. From now until the end of February, Any Hour Services will give you $2,024 off a new furnace and air conditioner, and you don't have to wait to save the money. You get $2,024 off at the time of purchase. The only thing you have to do to qualify for our New Year, New System sale is call Any Hour Services and schedule a free estimate. When you call, there's no obligation to buy. Just schedule a time to meet that works best for you. Let me say that again. From now until the end of February, when you have Any Hour Services install a new furnace and air conditioner, we'll give you $2,024 off. Call Any Hour Services right now and schedule a free estimate. 801-443-7400. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Join Mike Stevens of Capital Wealth Advisors for Retire Right Radio, Saturdays at 5 a.m. and 9 p.m. That's Retire Right Radio with Mike Stevens, Saturdays at 5 a.m. and 9 p.m.
Experience the fast action fun and thrilling competition of ISU World Cup Speed Skating at the Utah Olympic Oval, January 26 through 28. Cheer on Team USA's Olympians, including Beijing 2022 gold medalist Aaron Jackson, as they race against the world's top speed skating athletes from China, Canada, the Netherlands, Japan, and more on the fastest ice on earth. Tickets for ISU World Cup Speed Skating are available now at UtahOlympicLegacy.org.
Made to Shine. Love stories from Shane Company customers.
My wife's been working long weekends, so instead of just taking her out to dinner on Valentine's Day, I'm going to surprise her with a gift from Shane Company. I stopped by, and they showed me some really beautiful diamond heart necklaces. Right away, I knew that'd be something she'd love. I hope it reminds her how much I love her every day.
Our diamonds are hand-matched for consistency and sparkle, so your love will shine forever. Shane Company, fine jewelry since 1929.
If you're just joining us, the GDP, the gross domestic product data, came out for the fourth quarter, stronger than expected, 3.3% of growth, and the markets have been reacting since.
7:39 now. Traffic and weather together. Brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. And back to you, Andy.
Amanda, right now, North 15's got some struggles. We got issues, some slowdowns between 123rd and 106th. We got slowdowns between Murray, 5300 South exit to 3300 South, although the two issues that caused those backups are out of the way, but the slowing is still on those wet roads all the way up almost to I-80. Bangerter delays are at their worst at 47th and at 35th South. Mountain View slowed almost the whole way between 47th and 3500 South right now. Michelle?
Well, we're looking at some pretty typical delays. This is going to be southbound I-15 from 31st Street in Ogden down to Riverdale Road. If you're making your way past that all the way into the capital city, seeing good speeds, whether you're on I-15 Legacy or I-215. But you will want to be having a heads up that everything from Brigham City up, you can expect snow conditions. Eric?
Provo Canyon continues to be kind of an issue if you're trying to head out to the Wasatch Back or vice versa this morning because of snow conditions, and we can see on the cameras that the Sundance turnoff, you've got a couple lanes that are getting through there, but that's less than usual, so thus the reason for the slowing. People are being cautious going through. And on I-15, though, in Utah County, we got good movement up to Timpanogos Highway, and then it slows down as you head up to Point of the Mountain, getting over to the freeway, usual slowing Mountain View corridor, turning into 2100 North, heading east from Redwood Road over to the freeway. Attention Wasatch Front businesses and property managers, don't wait for bad weather to schedule professional snow service with GoPave Utah. Your complete parking lot safety starts with GoPaveUtah.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
We've got rounds of rain and snow showers, especially in the morning today, high of 40 degrees. Into the overnight, 29 degrees for a low and mostly cloudy skies. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high of 40. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
39 degrees in Salt Lake City.
Coming up in just a moment, we've been talking about how David Dujanovic are going to be broadcasting from the Women's Resource Center in Salt Lake today. We'll speak with the president and CEO of Volunteers of America Utah just ahead on KSL News Radio.
Right now, though, it's time for Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, brought to you by the law offices of Jordan Wilcox.
They sure are getting older, younger these days.
My 6-year-old is all about lip gloss right now.
Yes, little girls are wearing makeup. I remember the days when a mom would put her foot down and say stuff like, "No makeup till you're 14." And they'd break down at 12 and a half and allow a little colorful brush of something or other. But this winter, 10-year-olds flush with Christmas cash are flocking to Sephora and buying the big girl makeup. The expensive stuff, just like they saw on TikTok.
Thank heaven for little girls.
Every time you go into Sephora now, it's just all little girls.
That's a woman named Chloe Burkell after a jarring trip to Sephora where she was online behind a 7-year-old and her mom.
Her mom told her that she could only get one kind of concealer.
Guys, concealer is gook that hides wrinkles and zits.
Thank heaven.
This little girl does not have a single blemish. I don't even think her pores have opened yet. She literally doesn't have a single pimple, under eye bags, nothing. And her mom's they're getting concealer for her.
Because 7 years old, she saw it on social media and she's not alone. An army of tweens has invaded Sephora using the in-store samples to create makeup smoothies. They're rude to the staff, they're driving the employees nuts, just like they saw on TikTok. So if you see a 10-year-old painted up like she's 20, just smile and say, "Love your makeup. It makes you look so much younger." And then she'll wash it off.
Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
That is just crazy.
I just have zero sympathy for parents that can't say no and allow their kids to spend that time on social media. You reap what you sow here.
And Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News brought to you by the law offices of Jordan Wilcox. IRS harassing you? The law offices of Jordan Wilcox can help. Visit taxhelput.com.
Hi, I'm Utah tax attorney Jordan Wilcox. When the IRS invades your life, it's never good news. It's not just you.
My husband passed away. He had been ill for quite some time. And he did the taxes, but he forgot to send them in. He never sent the forms in. And this was the beginning of my nightmare.
Don't face the IRS alone. With everything in your life at stake, don't trust just anyone.
I got all these letters from the IRS telling me I owed them $63,000. I had a good friend that she said, "You need an attorney." She said, "Call Jordan Wilcox."
You need someone to fight for you.
He said, "Cynthia, we're going to give him $3,000. How does that sound?" I started crying because I was overwhelmed.
Visit taxhelput.com and get relief today. Let's solve your tax problems now. Visit taxhelput.com.
You have it made in the shade with Jordan Wilcox.
That's taxhelput.com.
KSL News Time, 7:45. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
a homelessness task force in Utah County wants more cities to step up their services for unsheltered people. I'm KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston.
Second, St. George hopes a new water tracking app will help homeowners cut down on water waste.
Third, it's traffic and weather together.
Slowdowns continue to be an issue with stormy conditions on I-15 coming up to Point of the Mountain in Lehigh. Some delays there. We've got slowdowns in Sandy, Murray, Still have some up in Parley's Canyon. Southbound backups coming out of Ogden, although that's because of a lane restriction as much as it is because of wet roads. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Periods of rain and snow showers today, especially in the morning. High of 40. I'm Matt Johnson.
Rain right now and 39 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
Dave and Debbie are going to be broadcasting live today starting at 9 o'clock from the Women's Resource Center in Salt Lake City.
Volunteers of America Utah President and CEO Kathy Bray joins us live. Kathy, tell us what you do at the Women's Resource Center.
Well, good morning. I'm so happy to be with you today. And we are the operator, the service provider for the Geraldine E. King Women's Resource Center. So we operate the facility 24/7, 365 days of the year. So we're managing intakes and helping the women get the resources they need to move toward housing, providing housing advocates as well as case managers. There's meals on site. There's clothing assistance for basic needs, and then we want to help them move into apartments in the community as soon as possible.
I know the stress on the volunteers and the facilities right now is always tough in the middle of January. Even though we've had a little warm stint here, it's going to get cold again. How do you deal with the Code Blue?
Yeah, Code Blue is an additional emergency layer on our winter shelter plan. So even before we get to Code Blue, there's a winter shelter response, and we are providing over 600 additional winter beds. That starts in October every year, and then Code Blue, once it gets very cold to 15 degrees at this point with wind chill factor, we have additional shelters that open up. So almost 1,000 additional beds during the winter time just in Salt Lake County.
Can you help us understand what brings these women to this place in their life of being homeless?
You know, so much of it has to do with the fact that housing prices are going up and up and up, as we all know. So people's incomes and resources are not adequate to pay for an apartment is kind of the basic. There are other complicating factors in moving people out into housing that include things like major medical issues or a mental health issue, other barriers that maybe a previous eviction, harder to compete with the other people who are lined up to get that one apartment that's open, things like that.
How do we help?
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to help. We have a lot of volunteers coming in to help serve meals, to provide financial donations, of course, and then also to help collect items that we give to people so they can save their money for housing deposits and rent.
Do you help with youth homelessness too, with the teenagers
We
and younger?
do. Right. So Volunteers of America operates also the Youth Resource Center for 15 to 22-year-olds in addition to the women's facility. So the women's has 250 beds in the winter, 200 year-round. The youth center is smaller, about 30 beds, and we're trying to get 50 beds year-round at this time. And so that's also in Salt Lake City, and we're serving about 350 to 400 youth a year.
Can I just ask one follow-up question? Are these youth who are not with a parent?
Correct. If they're minors, we have different protocol, and we may be working directly with parents and also Salt Lake County Youth Services in those cases. But there's been family disruption for various reasons that brings these young people to not having a place to live.
Yeah, the need is so great. Kathy, we're out of time, but tell our listeners where to get started. Where can they go online maybe to get started?
Sure. You can go to our website at voaut.org, and please join us. We need all of the community support we can get.
That's V as in victory, OAUT.org. Thank you so much for what you do, Kathy.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That is Kathy Bray, the CEO of Volunteers of America. We are ready to check traffic and weather together here at 7:49. Brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Andy's back in the traffic center.
And right now I'm watching the I-15 drive is still a little bit rough coming now through Draper. It's actually worse now between 123rd and 90th South than it is up in South Salt Lake, which was backed up for so long. SR 201, after clearing up from some earlier slowdowns, it's starting to see the heavy volume all hit the road at the same time, going over from Bangerter, from Mountain View past past Bangor over to 215. In both Bangor and Mountain View, you'll see plenty of delays at your intersection lights going north through West Valley up to 201 right now. Michelle?
Well, we're seeing delays southbound I-15 approaching 31st Street in Ogden down to Riverdale Road. Then you're going to get a nice break all the way down to North Salt Lake, where it's slowing right down around the 2300 North area, making your way into downtown after that, looking good. If you're on I-215's West Belt, that is also slowing down southbound as you're going past the airport, approaching I-80. And if you're on I-84 at Harrison Boulevard, that's also slowing down there as well. Eric?
We do have some wet roads down between Provo and Orem now, and some corresponding slowdowns, it looks like, northbound as you head between those two cities and into the S-curve. So further up the line, you do have slowing as well, going from Triumph Boulevard in Lehigh, northbound past Timpanogos Highway up to Point of the Mountain. Usual slowdown spots, Mountain View Corridor turning into 2100 North, and now Pioneer Crossing heading out of Saratoga Springs eastbound over to Saratoga Road, and past that you've got some slower than usual conditions. Attention Wasatch Front businesses and property managers, don't wait for bad weather to schedule professional snow service with GoPave Utah. Your complete parking lot safety starts with GoPaveUtah.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
7-day forecast is brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. Love this storm, Matt.
I know, nice to see the rain and snow return to the region. For most of the valleys, it's been light rain. We'll go for a high of 40 degrees. A lot of the activity is into the lunch hour, then it becomes more scattered into the afternoon. Partly cloudy for tomorrow, 40 degrees, 44, partly cloudy, 47. And yes, we are going to get warmer. 48 on Monday, Tuesday, 48. Into next week, it's, I'm calling it fake spring, 50 degrees next Wednesday.
Yeah, we have Indian summers, don't we? So, or isn't that what they're called? Late into September when we get crazy temperatures?
Yeah, yep.
So we're having a little bit of that right now. It is 39 in Salt Lake City. We'll check money news next.
I know when something goes wrong in your home, it's easy to stress out. I do. I mean, when we had, broken pipes and flooding recently, I got very stressed. And you do if your furnace isn't working and you don't have any heat, or you're losing power regularly for whatever reason, or your water heater is not working. Nothing like a cold shower to stress you out.
Yeah.
So when you feel that way, I just want to refer you to Superior Water and Air. This team of professionals are just the most wonderful people. Everyone who's ever come into my house, first they'll say, "We got this, Amanda. Don't stress anymore. Just give us a little bit of time." And I'll go in, and they're like plumbing detectives figuring out where's that leak coming from, and then they find it and then they fix it.
Yeah. Here's the thing too. They've also taught me through the years that preventative care will head off a lot of that, so they can walk you through little things you can do around your house to prevent some of those situations from cropping up. Here's a number to call, 801-974-9090, or go to superiorwaterandair.com.
Going to a Jazz game is more fun together. Host an unforgettable night at Delta Center with colleagues, friends, families, whoever. Group tickets are the best way to get everyone together to cheer on the Jazz. Pick from a variety of options for seating, dining, and game day experiences. Start planning your big night at the game by calling 801-355-DUNK, emailing group sales at utahjazz.com, or simply visiting utahjazz.com/tickets.
In order for small businesses to thrive, they need to be smart, efficient, savvy, staying ahead of the market at every turn, finding ways to do more with less, and taking advantage of every opportunity that comes their way. That's why Comcast Business is introducing the Small Business Bonus. For a limited time, you can get up to a $1,000 prepaid card when you switch to Comcast Business, the company with the largest, fastest, reliable network. So if you're a small business owner, don't wait. Call or go online to learn about the $1,000 bonus today.
Give your business a head start in 2024. Get started with fast speeds and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Call or go online to switch today. Ends 2/21/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 50 megabits per second internet and security edge. EcoBill and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Prepaid card offer requires premium internet.
Dave and Dujanovic.
What a week! Jazz owner wants to bring NHL hockey to Utah. My question, if everything works out, we get baseball, basketball, hockey, soccer, not to mention college football, how many games do they think I can go to? I'll give you my pitch on how it can all work out. Today on Dave and Dujanovic.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. The market's reacting to those good GDP numbers from the fourth quarter. The Dow up 119, the S&P is up 20, the NASDAQ even up this hour by 62.
Time for Cougar Tracks, and here is KSL Sports BYU insider Matt Baimonte.
BYU basketball is turning the page from a tough loss earlier in the week against the number 4 Houston Cougars. Despite the loss, there were several positive takeaways from the game. BYU was picked to finish 13th in the Big 12 Conference before the season began. By the media, they've certainly looked much better than the 13th ranked team in the conference. And playing in Provo has proven to be difficult for road teams.
Marriott Center is incredibly special. The Cougar Nation played a large part in us trying to scrap back into this game. We need their help, and so we're super grateful for that. It's pretty special to be able to play in this building.
Coach Pope and these Cougars will need BYU fans yet again this Saturday with a big home game lurking. It's the Texas Longhorns, who are playing some of their best basketball of the season. With Cougar Tracks, I'm Matt Baimonte on your legacy home of the BYU Cougars, KSL News Radio.
I got my email yesterday from Hale Center Theater letting me know that we're just days away from our chance to go see Fiddler on the Roof. I mentioned yesterday, one of the real treats for me anyway, going to Hale, is not just seeing the productions you know nothing about, but it's the ones that you know well, just to see how they treat them.
If I were a rich man, la 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 la. Yeah, I love Fiddler on the Roof. We're going on Saturday too.
Yeah.
And we saw Clue a little while ago. And man, I played that game growing up. It was Mrs. Peacock. I just love that.
In the parlor. With a lead pipe.
And the way they do this Clue play on stage, the way they fool you with I did not see it coming. I did not see the end coming at all.
Yeah. And the butler who has to
he is brilliant.
Summarize the entire story at the end of this is
brilliant.
That scene in and of itself is amazing. Look, don't miss any of the great performances that are happening right now and will be soon. Call 801-984-9000 or go to hct.org.
Paid for by government.com.
The 1878 to 1921 Morgan Silver Dollar, a true American classic and one of the most iconic silver dollar coins in history. It's been 100 years since the last Morgan Silver Dollar coin was struck for circulation, and now, for a limited time only, full pound bags of original U.S. government struck Morgan dollars are being released to the public. That's right, you can own a full pound of 1878 to 1921 classic American Morgan Silver Dollar coins, all in very good collector condition with fully visible dates and mint marks, guaranteed. Call 1-800-473-0864 now to secure collector-grade U.S. Morgan Silver Dollars by the pound, struck during the Wild West and the Gilded Age. Plus, receive a bonus American Collector's Pack, valued at over $25, free with every order. Call 1-800-473-0864 now to secure your full pound bag of Morgan Silver Dollar coins before they are gone. 1-800-473-0864. That's 1-800-473-0864.
7:59, traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon, Andy.
Amanda, slowdowns continue to build. We've got reduced speeds most of the way through the valley now between Point of the Mountain and downtown. There's a couple areas where you'll hit the speed limit, but it doesn't last long. And then stop and go around 33rd South, and now a bunch in downtown itself just before the 6th South exit. 201 freeway, also going to see extra few minutes of travel time between Magna and West Valley, and wait times on Bangerter and Mountain View, especially at the West Valley intersections right now at their peak. Michelle?
Well, we have a crash in Ogden. This is 26th Street and Harrison Boulevard southbound. For drivers making their way southbound through Ogden, looking at those slowdowns going between 31st Street and Riverdale Road. More delays as you're headed southbound on the West Belt. This is going past the Salt Lake Airport, headed down toward I-80. Eric?
I-15 Utah County, we've got good movement from Santaquin all the way up to Springville, and then you've got some slowdowns heading from Provo University Avenue up to the S-curves going into Orem, and then from Triumph Boulevard and Lehigh northbound up to Point of the Mountain. We got wet roads out there. Common Spirit, hospitals, clinics, and caregivers all connected to advanced healthcare in Colorado, Kansas, and Utah. Healthcare with Human Kindness is here. Hello, Human Kindness. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
We've already seen the high for the day, 40 when we arrived this morning, and right now raining downtown lightly and 39 degrees.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Good morning, KSL News Time, 8 o'clock. This is Utah's Morning News. I'm Tim Hughes.
And I'm Amanda Dixon. KSL's top story this hour.
A proposed income tax cut that impacts all of us is advancing through the state Senate.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small begins our live team coverage Eye on the Hill 2024. Adam?
Amanda, a Senate committee just passed a nearly $200 million bill that would lower the state income tax rate from 4.65 to 4.55%. Senator Chris Wilson is the bill's sponsor.
Lowering tax is the fairest way to reduce tax burden for Utahns and promote upward mobility. Rate reductions benefit all taxpayers and result in Utahns keeping more of their paychecks.
On that committee, only Senate Minority Leader Luz Escamilla voted not to advance the bill. She explains why.
Our housing and homelessness issues are something, and child care are big crises that we're not currently funding.
Now, the bill still needs to pass the full Senate, House, and needs Governor Cox's signature. If it gets all those things, it would go into effect on May 1st. Live at the Capitol, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Native American students at half of Utah's public colleges could lose scholarships as an unintended consequence of a DEI bill. KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston continues our live team coverage. Eye on the Hill 2024. Peter?
Tim, in its current form, the legislature's DEI bill would remove students' race, gender identity, and other identity factors from the college admissions process. But bill's floor sponsor, Senator Keith Grover, tells the Select Tribune that an unintended consequence could be the end of state scholarships dedicated to students from Utah's 8 Native tribes. Native Americans are currently the least represented demographic in Utah's college student body, with about 853 currently enrolled. One former education director for the Ute tribe told the Tribune that this change would, of course, result in a drop-off in Native college enrollment. Negotiations are ongoing about this bill at the legislature. Reporting live from the University of Utah, Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
Florida's Board of Governors voted to prohibit state funding to be used toward diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. Joe Saunders with Equality Florida spoke out against the move.
It intimidates, threatens, and in some cases eliminates multicultural student centers, Jewish student unions, Black student unions, Hispanic student unions, and of course LGBT student unions.
Florida is at least the 5th state to take action against DEI programs.
KSL's top national stories this hour. Nikki Haley facing growing pressure from the head of the GOP to drop out of the presidential race. ABC's Jay O'Brien reports from Washington.
At a rally last night, Haley saying her campaign has raised $1 million since Tuesday night when she lost to Donald Trump in New Hampshire. But Haley losing at least one big donor for now. Reid Hoffman, the billionaire co-founder of LinkedIn, saying he's holding off making any new investments in Haley until he sees a path for her to win. And now Trump appearing to pressure Haley donors while again referring to her as bird brain. Trump posting on social media that any Haley donors are, quote, permanently barred from the MAGA camp.
Haley says she will stay in the race until at least the end of the South Carolina primary.
Gen Z voters are making their mark on elections. KSL News Radio's Michael Commit is live with more. Michael?
Amanda, young voters played a crucial role back in 2020 and 2022. However, it's still a generation that harbors a general distrust of political entities. Gabby Sinlason is a senior partner with the progressively minded group Elevate Strategies.
It's going to take a lot more meeting people where they are and having real in-person conversations to really change hearts and minds, and that takes investment.
She's seeing more local candidates making the effort to do a genuine approach towards Utah's young voters, and there's a hope that Gen Z will be more multifaceted and organic in how they choose to vote. Reporting live, Michael Commit, KSL News Radio.
The Biden administration is going through schools to teach parents about safely storing guns.
The Department of Education releasing a letter to school leaders, encouraging them to communicate with parents, caregivers, and communities about how safe gun storage can protect students in school and in their communities. The DOE says some 4 million children live in a home with at least one firearm that's unlocked and loaded. At the same time, the Justice Department unveiling what they call the most comprehensive guide on safe storage ever released by the federal government. Dave Packer, ABC News.
KSL News Time is 8:05. First look traffic now, and here's Andy Farnsworth.
Amanda, slow spots remain on the freeways. So you've got some stop and go between SR 92 and Lehigh and Point of the Mountain that get through, plus some additional delays 3300 south too close to the 6 South exit downtown. If you're going to go up towards Park City, we've got some slowing between Kimball Junction and Highway 40 increasing for eastbound traffic. and some southbound brake lights Ogden to Riverdale. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
An update this morning to a deadly motorcycle crash that happened earlier this week in Murray. Police say the driver who hit the rider had a blood alcohol level 4 times above the legal limit. That driver now behind bars facing multiple charges. Police have not released the name of the motorcycle rider who was killed Tuesday night.
We're hearing from a Utah father who recently lost his 5-year-old daughter in a crash involving a drunk driver. KSL TV's Debbie Worthen says Samir Lilacs' injuries pale in comparison to the loss of his daughter Lenny.
She loved gymnastics and unicorns and the tidal wave ride at Lagoon.
Every time she wanted to go, she'd be to the boat and she'd be just yelling down the... We didn't care if people looked at us or not. We'll be yelling out, to the boat, to the boat. And she loved that. And
Lilac has had his 2 children with him when they were hit by a drunk driver. He and his son survived, but Lenny died a week later.
A family in Sandy now waiting to see what will happen to a neighbor's dog after they say it attacked their son twice. Daniel Anderson tells KSL TV the latest attack led to serious injuries on his son's leg.
Natural thoughts at that point were just like, how did it let it go this far?
Daniel is hoping the dog isn't allowed to return to the neighborhood. The dog's owner has been cited multiple times.
The Box Elder County School District is doing away with their Chinese immersion program, and students like Luke Anderson say they want to see the program stay.
I'm disappointed. I think Chinese is going to do a lot for me in the future.
The district is dissolving the program because class size and enrollment keeps getting smaller.
Delays down northbound I-15 in Provo, Lehigh, South Salt Lake as drivers contend with wet conditions. The roads do look a little more wet downtown this hour. We'll check traffic and weather together next.
Bigger stories demand more accountability, more experience, more trust.
If it's like an election day or we're expecting some bad weather,
KSL presents the story. Unbiased.
It's a good local source.
We have you covered at KSL News Radio.
Your favorite local credit union is now your concert BFF. Utah First Credit Union is turning up the volume on life at the newly renamed Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater, formerly USANA Amphitheater. Join us for a summer of music, memories, and community togetherness. Utah First, banking that rocks. And concerts aren't the only thing we're amping up. We're also introducing Utah First Personal Checking, your all-in-one boutique banking solution. Have you ever wished your favorite features came standard? Like guac on your burrito, expedited shipping, or in-flight Wi-Fi? Good news! At Utah First Credit Union, we've made all your favorite checking perks our standard, including the best dividends, debit card rewards, loan rebates, and of course, early access to concert tickets at the new Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater. That's personal checking, where every feature is standard. Does your bank rock like that? Learn more at utahfirst.com.
Gillette Heating and Air Conditioning is offering furnace maintenance for 30% off. Call 385-GET-HEAT today to take advantage of this limited time offer. Carrier, turn to the experts.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Eileen talks about her experience with 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
A lot of gross kitchen in the beginning, cracked formica, bad floor, ripped linoleum, and I decided to heck with this. I want it done. And I found an ad from 3-Day Kitchen and Bath. I called him. Dave brought all of his stuff. We talked about what I wanted. I chose the materials. It was very easy. He came in, he did what he said. They did it in the time frame that they said, at the cost that they said. His crew was delightful. We came home, everything had been cleaned up. I would say people are silly not to do 3-Day Kitchen and Bath. I just love it. It's just like I moved into a new home.
It's about time.
3 days or less
at 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
If you're just joining us this morning, we continue to have our coverage Eye on the Hill 2024, and we're looking at some of the unintended consequences of the diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. We will explore that, of course, and continue to have coverage throughout the rest of the afternoon. KSL News Time 8:09, time for a look at traffic and weather together that's brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Does seem like that precipitation's picked up a bit lately here, Andy?
Yeah, and it seems to have had an impact, at least a bit, on I-15. Right now, delays are still at their worst between about 3900 south, that overpass in Murray going into South Salt Lake, and that'll continue up almost to the 600 South exit downtown. Bangerter's got a big backup in South Jordan at 98 South, and Mountain View's worst portion is in West Valley trying to get to 3500 South. Michelle?
Well, we're still slowed down if you're headed southbound I-15 right about 31st Street, headed down to Riverdale Road. Seeing good speeds until you're getting into North Salt Lake, and then it slows down on I-15 between the interchange at North Salt Lake headed in toward Rose Park, and also still a little bit of leftover slowing if you're on the West Belt headed toward I-80. Eric?
I-15 in Utah County, we've got some slow spots this morning because of what roads, it seems that's the biggest reason, from University Avenue in Provo up to the S-curves and a little bit into Orem as well. Then you have a clean spot from that point all the way up to about Triumph Boulevard, and then it gets slow again as you head up past Timpanogos Highway 2 point of the mountain. Redwood Road also slow northbounders heading out of Saratoga Springs this morning. You're going to expect that going up to Redwood, and for Mountain View Corridor 2100 north traffic, that's also slow getting over to the freeway. Start your dream kitchen or bath today at Bedrock Quartz, where it's only 7 days from template to installation. Visit New Murray or Spanish Fork showrooms or bedrockquartz.com. Bedrockquartz.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
We'll see moments of rain and snow today. Temperatures will top out in the low 40s with most of the activity in the morning. 29 overnight with mostly cloudy skies. 40 tomorrow, partly cloudy. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
I just wonder if the biggest part of this storm front is passing through right now. Temperatures also dropping, 37 downtown.
Isn't that story crazy about and there's audio of this, of the chair of the Arizona Republican Party trying to bribe Kerry Lake to drop out of the race? What in the world?
Yeah, and he's pointing a finger throughout the tape of somebody back east, powerful people back east.
Want you out.
Have asked him to do this.
Wow. Anyway, we'll have more when we talk to Debbie Dujanovic just ahead.
You'll find us streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Are you ready for a showdown? Are you ready? How about a Shape Up showdown? With SOTA Weight Loss. It's SOTA, stands for state-of-the-art weight loss, because it is, and it is time for a Shape Up showdown. You could actually win a full year of SOTA's amazing program to get you in the best shape, the best health of your entire life. All you got to do is send an email to shapeup@sotaweightloss.com. You could win a full year of the program and get this, a $2,000 wardrobe makeover as part of this showdown. And you're going to need the makeover because SOTA Weight Loss works, because it's state of the art. I lost 37 pounds in 90 days, and get this, I am 2 years into my Shape Up. And still going strong because I have the help of a coach, a mentor, a nutritionist to guide me every step of the way. They'll do exactly the same for you. As I always say, when it comes to your SOTA weight loss journey, there's no time to lose, only time to win. So start winning today. Check it out at sotaweightloss.com, SOTAweightloss.com.
I lock up my Old Spice Fiji aluminum-free dry spray to keep that 24/7 lasting freshness safe for myself. Fresh coconuts, palm trees in the wind. It's like catching waves in Fiji. Actually, I just talked myself into a refreshing spritz of Fiji. My Old Spice is missing! No!
Get the appliances you need right away at Lowe's. Explore the largest assortment of brands you trust, like Whirlpool, Samsung, and LG, in-store or online at the best values. Plus, take advantage of our everyday financing offers on top items, from refrigerators to laundry pairs. And there's more. Get your new appliances delivered or installed quickly at your convenience. Because Lowe's knows appliances, Lowe's knows home improvement. Subject to credit approval.
Hi friends, Dan the Laptop Man here from PC Laptops. I get a lot of emails with feedback from customers. Here's one. Dear Dan, I just had the best experience ever. I bought a computer from Shane at your State Street store. I asked several what I thought were really stupid questions. Shane was super courteous and made me feel comfortable through the whole process. People need to understand how important it is to support a local company, especially when your experience is so good. PC Laptops really does love me. Signed, Satisfied. I love hearing feedback like that. It really just gives me the chills. It's the whole reason why I got into the computer business in the first place. You can get a brand new PC Laptops desktop, and they start at only $29 a month. And it comes with a lifetime warranty. That means if anything goes wrong, we're going to take care of you. Just check us out at PCLaptops.com. That's PCLaptops.com. At PC Laptops, we really do love you.
KSL News Time, 8:15. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
there's going to be some changes with how police can obtain doorbell camera footage from Ring. I'm KSL News Radio's Michael Commit.
Second, a proposed income tax cut that impacts all of us is advancing through the state Senate.
Third, it's traffic and weather together.
I-15 traffic is still struggling through Murray into South Salt Lake. Got some southbound delay right after 31st Street in Ogden. Northbound in Utah County, two slow areas. One is going from Center Street, Provo into the S-curves. The other from SR 92 in Lehigh to Point of the Mountain. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
A combination of rain and snow today, high of 40. I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now, it's 37 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
And time for our top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Stocks are rising following signals that the economy is growing much more powerfully than economists had expected. ABC's Whit Johnson has more on new GDP numbers out today.
According to the Commerce Department, the U.S. economy grew at an annualized rate of 3.3% in the fourth quarter, much higher than the expected increase of 2%. So what's driving this growth? Strong consumer spending is a top reason. Americans opened their wallets this holiday season. Retail sales were up 5.6% in December compared to a year ago.
Unemployment remains low for now as well, even though last week numbers did tick up a bit thanks to job losses in the media and tech sectors. United and Alaska Airlines could be loading passengers on their Boeing 737 MAX 9 planes as soon as tomorrow.
The FAA laying out an enhanced maintenance process, which will require, among other things, an inspection of specific bolts, guide tracks, and fittings, and detailed visual inspections of left and right mid-cabin exit door plugs. The FAA also telling Boeing it can't expand on production of the MAXs beyond what's already being built until there's a full investigation.
That's ABC Transportation correspondent Gio Benitez. Donald Trump in New York right now making an appearance at the E. Jean Carroll defamation trial. He's already been found liable of sexually assaulting her and defaming her when he claimed that she was lying about it. As for Trump's only remaining Republican rival, Nikki Haley is back in South Carolina.
This may be Nikki Haley's home state, but she is the underdog here. She'll have the campaign trail largely to herself over the next few days, and she will certainly need it. She's trailing Donald Trump by double digits as more and more Republicans rally behind him.
That's ABC's Rachel Scott in Charleston. President Biden will be in Superior, Wisconsin today. In a Michigan courtroom, the mother of Ethan Crumbley, who shot and killed 5 people at his high school north of Detroit, Jennifer Crumbley, accused of buying her son the gun used in the shootings. You're listening to ABC News.
We're just talking in studio about this Arizona Republican Party chair that's resigned because of leaked audio in a conversation with Carrie Lake in Arizona.
Who's running for Senate?
This
Who's
is
running
crazy
for
stuff.
Yeah, it just okay. When I listen to this, there's 10 minutes of audio. It's posted on the Daily Mail. All the major news organizations are doing stories on it. I just thought of this sounds like a mob hit waiting to go down. If she doesn't get out of the race, she's worried somebody's going to come and kill her. And he's offering her, at least on the tape, it sounds like he's offering her a bribe to stay out of the race. Let's play some audio.
There are very powerful people who want to keep you out.
I know they do.
But they're willing to put their money where their mouth is in a big way. So, this conversation we never had.
This is crazy, though. They should want me. I'm a great candidate. People love me. These people are corrupt.
I'll tell you what I can offer you. And I said, well, what do you want to do? Whatever we need to do.
Yeah, he says there's people back east that are puppeteering all of this. And
well, thanks for editing out her F-bombs throughout the conversation.
And so, so this conversation goes on for 10 minutes. Well, at least that's the recording that has been released. It sounds to me like from the audio, he's actually following her out the door. She says, hey, why don't you take this public? Because I'm not getting out of the race. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to be bought off. This is absolutely insane. And he suggests that by going public with this, if he turned his car on, it would go boom. Yeah. So I'm wondering, if this is just a one-off situation, if this has been going on within the GOP to keep people out of the race, and this
who
is
are
just
the
has
people in Washington?
Right. There's so much intrigue to this, legally and politically.
This is like a Hollywood script.
It does. It
And
feels like it.
My guess is this goes on more than you know, not just with the GOP, with Democrats, in the political world.
Offering bribes to get out of the race, or at least,
threatened.
or put. They also offered her it sounded like a high-paying job, just to put her Senate campaign on pause.
It's crazy.
It's a big story. It's developing today, and we're all over it on the David Dujanovic Show, as well as you guys are.
And you're on the road. We'll look forward to your broadcast coming up at 9.
Absolutely, we are on the road. We'll see you at the women's shelter at 9 o'clock.
This portion of Utah's Morning News brought to you by Revere Health.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Back to you, Andy.
Amanda, traffic into South Salt Lake still having slow spots. In fact, your drive time from Point of the Mountain through Salt Lake City right now, if you're going to go all the way to the 600 South exit, is about 30 minutes right now with the extra travel time coming through Murray or near 53rd, 45th South, and then again between the I-80 201 interchange and 600 South turnoff itself. 201, earlier slowdowns through the Magna West Valley portion are gone, but it's still kind of sluggish between 215 and I-15 as you cross over the valley on 201. Michelle?
Well, still pretty quiet up in Weber and Davis counties, but we do have the slowdown still going on in Ogden. This is right around Riverdale Road. Then once you break free of that, you're looking good till you're going right around 2300 north in North Salt Lake on I-215 and Legacy. That's back to good speeds. Eric?
Looks like we got a crash westbound over on I-80 as you exit at 1300 East, and the car has gone well off of the road. Emergency vehicles are now on hand to check it out, and you got some slowing up for folks that are going by there. Nothing major at the moment, though. I-80, the rest of the way westbound over to I-15 looks good. And if you're heading eastbound on I-80 all the way through the mountains, so we haven't had a major problem, although now you do have some usual slowings between Kimball Junction and Silver Creek. And getting into Park City also slow for westbounders from US 40 into town. Down in Utah County, you still got slow spots between Provo and Orem, and in Lehigh from Triumph Boulevard up to Point of the Mountain. Wasatch Front businesses and property managers, don't wait for bad weather. Schedule professional snow service with GoPave Utah. For complete parking lot safety, visit GoPaveUtah.com. GoPaveUtah.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast. We got some activity out there today. Rain, snow showers, temperatures in the low 40s. Partly cloudy tomorrow, we're drying out, high of 40. Back up to 44 with high pressure building on Saturday, partly cloudy skies. Upper 40s by Sunday, partly cloudy. We keep it mostly sunny on 48 on Monday. Tuesday 48, we go to 50 by next Wednesday with mostly sunny skies. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now, 37 degrees downtown. The 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
We've got Jazz basketball on our air tonight. Jazz looking to bounce back. They're in Washington. The tip-off is early because they're back east. Let's see, 5 o'clock. On your way home, you'll hear it right here on KSL News Radio.
KSL News Time, 8:23.
Revere Health is dedicated to making healthcare easier and more accessible by offering the latest technologies to improve the patient experience. We offer convenient telehealth appointments so you can receive care from the comfort of your own home. We also offer an online patient portal called Follow My Health that enables you to manage your healthcare online. When you download the Follow My Health app, you can exchange direct messages with your doctor, view lab and test results as soon as they are available, renew prescriptions, and review upcoming appointments. If you're ready to schedule your annual physical for 2024, we've made that easier too. Revere Health now offers the ability to schedule appointments online for primary care and select specialties. Visit our website at reverehealth.com to learn more or to schedule your next appointment online. Through these convenient solutions, Revere Health demonstrates its commitment to quality, patient-centric care every day. Revere Health, your partner in health, your partner for life.
As the new year begins, you and your credit card might be ready for a quiet break. Experience the relief of a low rate with the Mountain America credit card. With a 3% cash bonus on balance transfers, it's more relaxing than ever. Open a Mountain America credit card today for your limited time bonus. Details at macu.com/transfer. Loans and approved credit. Membership required based on eligibility. Offer can change or be withdrawn at any time. Terms, conditions, and restrictions apply.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Dave and Dujanovic.
What a week. Jazz owner wants to bring NHL hockey to Utah. My question, if everything works out, we get baseball, basketball, hockey, soccer, not to mention college football, how many games do they think I can go to? I'll give you my pitch on how it can all work out. Today on Dave and Dujanovic.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Parent company Halion is recalling 8 lots of Robitussin cough syrup after a microbial contamination. This is not your children's Robitussin, though. This is the Robitussin Honey CF Max Day and Nighttime Adult medicines. You can see a picture of the box online if you want to. They're used for cold and flu symptoms, but it's specifically the honey variety for adult.
Chipotle in the process of hiring 19,000 workers ahead of what they call burrito season. We didn't know there was such a thing. Yeah. It runs from March to May, the busiest time of the year for the fast casual Mexican restaurant.
Look at the markets. The Dow's up 187 right now. That's 0.5%. We're at 37,995. The S&P's up 27, which is 0.5%. The Nasdaq up 93, which is 0.6%.
Southbound I-15 slowing now. Ogden to Riverdale, kind of usual for this time of the day. But wet roads also complicating it. We'll check traffic and weather together next.
Do you have money sitting in a savings account earning like next to no interest? Hey, we need your attention because Utah Community Credit Union, always looking to help families. They help my family so much. They have these high-rate savings options that are going to yield you up to 5.5%. So why not move that money over?
They want to help you build your savings for the future, supercharge your savings right now. So if you have money that maybe is out there, getting what? 0.5%, 1%, 2% even. You can move that money over, and they've created very short-term savings certificates, too. These usually go 5 years, but they also have some high-yield offerings for like 6 months, 9 months, or 1 year if you can't leave the money sitting there.
So let's say you saved a bunch of money, and maybe you need it next year, but you don't need it now. Why not get more interest on it in the short term over 6, 9 months, or a year?
All the way up to 5.5%. Just visit uccu.com. You select a high-yield savings option, and then just supercharge your savings.
This is one of 100 ways that they are going to help you and your family save money. Utah Community Credit Union. You're going to love where you bank.
Don't let this.
The fog has rolled in again, so long wait times
happen to you.
That right lane is blocked, and it is causing delays.
Fire's out, but they've got a few vehicles strung along the right side there as you make your way into the downtown area.
We do have a little bit of slowing still continuing on the south and west gates at Hill Air Force Base.
Dozens of traffic reporters and thousands of KSL listeners work together to get you to work and home on time. Listen every 10 minutes on the 9s, mornings and afternoons
on KSL News Radio.
KSL and the Movie Show will be at My Hearing Centers tomorrow from 10 to 1. My Hearing Centers changes lives through better hearing. Visit myhearingcenters.com.
8:29, it's traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. How are we looking, Andy?
Actually, pretty good. Better than earlier, I should say, in the Salt Lake Valley. In fact, right now, if you're getting on the freeway at Bluffdale or Bangerter, you've got no slowdowns until about South Salt Lake, and then you'll hit the brakes between 21st South and 6th South exit. Mountain View still got backups, though, pretty thick in West Valley. Bangerter's 2 intersections that are at their worst are 9800 and 3500 South, it looks like right now. 201 back to the speed limit, even on some wet road conditions as you cross over through West Valley and Salt Lake. Michelle?
Well, you can still expect some slowdowns. This is southbound I-15 between 31st Street and Riverdale Road in Ogden. The crash at Harrison Boulevard and US 89, it looks like that has either eased up or cleared. Don't have a camera in the area. Now, as you make your way further south on I-15, still just a little bit of leftover slowing as you're going through Rose Park, headed toward downtown. Eric?
Well, the eastbound side of 189 through Provo Canyon has improved, but we've still got difficulties for westbounders coming through the mountains from Heber City, and a couple of crashes, one just past Vivian Park, another one at Canyon Glen. So be careful coming into the valley if you're going into Utah County this morning, where we've got northbound delays from Provo to Orem and between Lehigh and Point of the Mountain. You got a crash on westbound I-80 that's actually at 1300 East to get onto westbound I-80. You got a car that just ran off the road, it looks like, and you've got emergency vehicles on hand and folks just going by that slowly, single file. Is the IRS harassing you? Are tax problems ruining your life? Let Utah tax attorney Jordan Wilcox help. Visit taxhelput.com. That's taxhelput.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
And the weather forecast says rain and snow all day into this evening. Wow, this is a big one. Then it clears out. We'll have just clouds tomorrow and through the next 7 days, and a warming trend. We get up to 50 by Wednesday. Right now, rain and 37 downtown.
You're listening to Utah's Morning News with Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon
on KSL News Radio,
102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good morning, KSL News Time, 8:30.
KSL's top story this hour.
We've got rain and snow all along the Wasatch Front this morning.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small is tracking the storm and joins us live. Adam?
Amanda, thankfully, KSL meteorologist Matt Johnson's prediction this morning that it would mostly hold over as rain in the valley, that has really come to pass. I've seen not a drop of snow, at least where I've been driving around in Salt Lake County this morning. Even right now, the rain has actually stopped, and it's had very minimal impact on the drive, mostly just wet roads, but it's been very minimal, thankfully. Now, Matt says this storm will be especially good news for southern Utah, which still needs a lot of help with their snowpack.
A lot of the energy is now going to be sent to southern Utah. Still anticipating some wet weather for the northern half, but you notice rain, snow showers into the lunch hour.
Now, by this afternoon, things should mostly clear out in the valleys. By tonight, though, northern Utah, including the mountains, won't have much of anything coming down, potentially for the next week or so based on the forecast, so hopefully we maximize our totals. Right now, northern mountains are looking at 4 to 8 inches. The mountains around St. George and Cedar City could get 6 inches to a foot. Live, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
A Utah County task force is crafting a plan to increase the number of homeless services available. Here's KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston.
The majority of Utah County's unsheltered residents stay in Provo, Orem, and Springville, but the only warming centers on frigid nights are in Provo. The county's Winter Response Task Force wants to change that. The group's president tells the Daily Herald that residents have asked for other towns to step up their services because they want to avoid tents on the streets. One idea is for micro-shelters to pop up in towns surrounding Provo, plus one-day bus tickets for unsheltered people when temperatures drop below 15 degrees. If the task force has no plan by August, the state is claiming a permanent homeless shelter could be coming to the county. Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
St. George is creating a water tracking app so homeowners can keep a close eye on the amount of water they're using.
Saratoga Springs has used an online water tracking portal for several years. It sends an alert if there is an unusual spike in usage. Subscribers can also track how much they're using hourly. When people have access to this resource, conserving water ends up being more at the forefront. Annalise Harrison with Saratoga Springs City says there's lots of useful information that's right at her fingertips.
Water this area for 20 minutes, but you don't necessarily how that converts into gallons. This way you can see that data.
Harrison says the alert feature has saved lots of people money. Subscribers are able to find leaks, broken pipes, and running toilets much earlier, saving water and keeping their water bill down. Britt Johnson, KSL News Radio.
KSL's top national stories this hour. Alaska Airlines says they'll be putting their 737 MAX 9 planes back in the air this weekend. After getting inspection guidelines from the FAA, the inspections were required after one of their planes lost a door plug shortly after takeoff earlier this month.
The enhanced inspections will actually be good for Boeing because it'll be a chance to redevelop their reputation with the flying public for building safe airplanes. As long as we know that both Boeing and Spirit and each of the airlines that flies these airplanes is taking extra care to make sure that these bolts are properly installed and properly tightened, then there's really nothing for the flying public to worry about with this particular problem.
ABC News aviation analyst Steve Ganyard says the inspection process takes a close look at those bolts that hold the door plug in place.
FEMA is using a video game to teach school kids about disaster preparedness.
Can you take on what's to come and keep yourself and your sister Quinn safe?
Disaster Mind takes players through a series of timed decisions aimed at sharpening their critical thinking skills. Messages from parents and others provide critical information to help that decision-making process.
Pop-ups will share news updates, time warnings, and upcoming decision points. You'll have to weigh options and make quick decisions that will affect your odds of survival.
A mysterious guide leads players through 3 different disaster scenarios. The game is available now at FEMA.gov/disastermind. Don Brinkerhoff, KSL News Radio.
Fewer Americans say they identify with a religion.
Spirituality and religion are often considered the same thing, or they're pitted against each other. But a study from the Pew Research Center shows that that's not always the case. 28% of Americans don't identify with the religion, and only 17% of those people are atheists. 20% are agnostic, and 63% say that they're nothing in particular. Of those who don't identify with the religion, 63% say they believe in something spiritual beyond the natural world. Alexandria Bonilla, KSL News Radio.
First look traffic now, and here's Andy Farnsworth.
And right now we still have delays. Utah County seems to have the most freeway delays at the moment, including going up past Center Street in Provo on North 15, and then again from 2100 North Lehigh to Point of the Mountain. Little bit of a southbound slowdown now as you pass Pioneer Crossing. Salt Lake Valley, the only I-15 delay you got is between South Salt Lake and the 6 South exit downtown. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Thieves are taking advantage of the growing number of self-checkout lanes at grocery stores and other retailers. Utah County Sheriff Sergeant Spencer Cannon tells KSL TV that thieves will intentionally not scan items, or they'll use stolen credit cards to buy a bunch of gift cards.
At the very least, retailers would be wise to consider how they could make it more secure. It's costing other people a lot, pain and heartache.
He says self-checkout lanes are monitored, but just not closely enough.
Police now have to get warrants if they want to use Ring doorbell camera footage to investigate crimes. KSL News Radio's Michael Commit has more.
In the past, law enforcement was allowed to request and access footage from these cameras, but that raised many eyebrows among privacy advocates. So now, police will need a search warrant to access doorbell footage, albeit Ring will still reserve the right to share footage in limited circumstances. For now, though, police will still be able to post safety tips, updates, and community events on Ring's Neighbors app. This change will go into effect this week. Michael Commit, KSL News Radio.
I-15 still slow in Lehigh from 2100 north all the way up to the Point of the Mountain. We'll check traffic and weather together next.
Spend your workday with a talk show that makes you feel better about the news.
Dave and Dujanovic.
They have a good dynamic between the two of them.
Sometimes I'll take Dave's side and sometimes I'll take Debbie's side.
They're great.
Dave and Debbie, live from 9 to noon, or podcast the show on the app for KSL News Radio.
It's the Boat Show and Water Sports Expo.
Time to buy the boat of your dreams.
February 1st through the 4th at Mountain America Expo.
Great fun and shopping for the whole family.
The boat show is here, better climb aboard.
Get your best deal and buy at the Boat Show.
Watch BMX pro riders jump and fly the ramps. Learn fly tying with fishing experts.
See hundreds of new surf boats, wake boats, ski boats, pontoons, fishing boats, cruisers, houseboats and shares, personal watercraft, marine accessories, trucks, and more.
Shop, compare, buy, and save on new boats and accessories.
Register to win a 5-day Alaskan fishing trip courtesy of RW Fishing.
ABC4 Utah and Utah's CW30 invites you to the most exciting boat buying event of the year, the Boat Show and Water Sports Expo, Thursday, February 1st through Sunday the 4th at Mountain America Expo in Sandy.
Buy tickets online and save $2 at utahboatshow.com.
The boat show is here, better climb aboard.
We're going to continue to watch this storm as it makes its way through, not just affecting your morning drive, but likely to affect your afternoon drive as well. So make sure you're listening this afternoon, starting at 3 with Jeff Kaplan.
8:39, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s. Brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Back to you, Andy.
Amanda, slowdown's increasing on 201 freeway as you come over towards I-15. I don't know if it's a crash or something, but slowing you between Redwood and 900 West. We've still got I-15 back up South Salt Lake, especially from just after the I-80 turnoff all the way up to the 6 South exit downtown. And on Mountain View, traffic is improving in West Valley, but Bangerter's still backed up through South Jordan at 9800 South. Michelle?
We have a new crash, I-80 eastbound to the I-215 west belt headed northbound. It is a semi-truck and it's off to the right shoulder now for drivers making their way southbound I-15. The delays in Riverdale have cleared up, but we still have some slowing in North Salt Lake. Eric?
In Utah County, it's still pretty slow as you go from 2100 north up to the county line on I-15. In fact, it's really slow going by Timpanogos Highway exit. You've got another spot is slowing between Provo and Orem heading into the S-curves, but that does seem to be improving. Getting over to the freeway, well, that's got your usual problems on 2100 north coming out of Saratoga Springs, heading up Mountain View Corridor, and as that goes by Redwood Road. But gradually at 2300 west, it'll finally get better. But northbound Redwood Road also difficult, heading north from Camp Williams up to the Bluffdale Riverton area. Salt Lake Magazine calls Swan Lake breathtaking, featuring the timeless music of Tchaikovsky, performed live with the Ballet West Orchestra, February 9th through the 17th. Buy tickets at balletwest.org. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
With the freezing line just above the valley floor, we'll go for rain, snow showers today, minimal accumulation, temperatures in the low 40s. 29 overnight, mostly cloudy skies. We'll go partly cloudy tomorrow, high of 40. Back up to 44 and partly cloudy by Saturday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now, 37 degrees in Salt Lake City.
Dave and Dujanovic are headed to the Women's Resource Center for a live broadcast today. We'll speak with Dan Benshoff from Volunteers of America to find out more about what they do there at the Resource Center and how we can help.
Remember, you'll always find us streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio, Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Do you ever feel like getting your supplies for your CPAP is just a huge headache? Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent with Alpine Home Medical. We'll say goodbye to the hassle and hello to a stress-free life with our CPAP resupply service. Signing up is a breeze. Just place a call, choose your products, and leave the insurance billing and shipping to us. Our discreet packaging prioritizes your privacy, and we always ensure an on-time delivery. No more trips to the store or worrying about running out of important supplies. We get how crucial your CPAP therapy is, so don't let the stress of keeping up with it affect your sleep and health. Join Alpine Resupply today and enjoy a tranquil night's sleep with all your CPAP essentials. Visit us at alpinehomemedical.com.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
That's alpinehomemedical.com.
Can we talk about something difficult to discuss? Are you going through a difficult financial time? You have equity in your home, but nobody can help. I'm Jason Erskine with American Home Loans, and we have created the Bridge Loan Program to use your equity regardless of your credit at this time. The Bridge Loan can be used to pay debts, collections, IRS liens, divorce settlement, or just simply improve your property. Give us a call at 801-262-2221. This loan creates a bridge between now and a much brighter future. During COVID, one of our clients had over $85,000 on credit cards. Their scores were too low to borrow on their home. We were able to save them $2,000 a month, and after 8 months, they qualified for a conventional loan and improved their situation. Look, the consultation is free. Please let us see what we can do for you. Call 801-262-2221. That's 801-262-2221, or go to AmericanHomeLoans.com. That's AmericanHomeLoans.com.
NMLS 245422, Equal Housing Lender.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with an SPF of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
All in together now, we can make it better. Can we do it? We rope it up. Cause we know how to jump.
Moving and eating better every day can help make you and your kids healthier. Search We Can online to find out more. A message from the Ad Council, HHS, and NIH's We Can program.
KSL News Time, 8:45. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
a rain-snow mix in the valleys could have an impact on the drive-in this morning. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, a Utah County task force is crafting a plan to increase the number of homeless services available.
Third, it's traffic and weather together.
I-15 still struggling in Utah County, especially in Provo. And then again, Lehigh to Point of the Mountain. Traffic is moving better in the Salt Lake Valley, except for right downtown on I-15. Northbound traffic still jammed up prior to the 6 South exit. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Periods of rain and snow showers today, especially in the morning, high of 40. I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now, 37 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
Coming up in about 15 minutes, we're going to turn the microphones over to Dave and Dujanovic, who are going to be broadcasting live this morning from the Women's Resource Center in Salt Lake City.
Volunteers of America, Utah, Head of Marketing Dan Benshoff joins us live. What does the Women's Resource Center do here in Salt Lake, Dan?
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having us. We operate a 200-bed facility here in downtown Salt Lake. That's at its core, it's a shelter for women. That 200 beds expands 240 in the winter when it's colder outside. And so from November to April, we operate 250 beds, or we expand it to 250 beds. But we provide services for women who find themselves homeless. So we provide meals, showers, lots of wraparound services for housing, for job placement, for legal services, medical, mental health services that we provide. So it's really a wraparound service provider for women who are experiencing homelessness.
You've already answered one of my questions, which was what that increase looks like during the coldest months of the year. But how do you manage that overflow?
It's not easy. To go from 200 beds to 250 it's, as you can imagine, we have a certain number of bathrooms and a certain number of space, or a certain amount of space. And so when we do go to that emergency winter shelter status, which we're currently in, it's just more of everything. So it's more security, it's more volunteers that we need to come in and provide meals, it's more cleaning, it's more everything. So we're glad to do it. We're happy to do it. We want to do it. But it does actually require us to kind of reach out to the community to say, hey, can you support us in this and help us in this? So, yeah. And then there's also Code Blue, which is another layer upon that, which, you know, if the temperatures drop to a certain level in the winter, we actually bring in a couple more women, and a few other shelters around that area also open up so that they can take on that increased need during those really cold nights.
Two questions about the women you serve, Dan. What are the ages of the women you serve, and do any of them come to you with children?
So we have we primarily serve women 22 and older. So we have a youth shelter that's in the Granary District downtown, and that serves youth of all genders from 15 to 22. And so here, women 22 and up come and stay with us. Typically, they don't have children with them. There are other service providers and other shelters in the area that offer services for families. So primarily, it's women 22 and older without children who are here at the Geraldine King.
We were talking earlier this morning with your president and CEO, Kathy Bray, and about the root causes of overall homelessness. And the biggest one seems to be what the governor wants to put emphasis on Capitol Hill right now, and that's affordable housing.
It is. Wages aren't keeping up with our housing costs. The number of affordable housing units isn't increasing. And so that is a big issue as cost of living kind of increases. A lot more people are forced to live on the streets because they don't have an affordable place to live in. So we fully support that effort by any government agency that can get us more affordable housing. One of the biggest thing that we do here is case manage each of the clients that come through. And so our primary goal is to get them housing, get them out of the shelter system. Especially with our youth, we want to get them into permanent housing, but also with the women, get them into housing as best we can and just get them out of the system so that they can kind of create that sustainable lifestyle that we all want them to have and that they want to have. So it's the biggest root cause. There are others, mental health issues, addiction, things like that we also provide services for. Mm-hmm. But, affordable housing is a big missing piece here.
Before the time is gone, Dan, how do people listening help if they want to help in some way, whether it's volunteering or donating?
Sure. So our website, aviation.org is the best place to start. There you can find all of our volunteer opportunities. You can find the services that we provide. In addition to homeless shelters, we also have detoxification centers, and we have mental health centers. But there's a big red button to donate. We have a pretty big financial responsibility that we ask of the community to help us support these services. So volunteering and donations and what we do is all found at our website.
All right. Dan, thanks for all you do every day. We're going to be learning and talking a lot more about this over the next 3 hours with Dave and Debbie, who are there this morning broadcasting live. And again, it's voaut.org for information. 8:49, traffic and weather together is brought to you by Sinclair's Dyno Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. We go back to Andy Farnsworth.
And right now, watching I-15, traffic is still slow downtown on the freeway between 21st South and the 6 South exit. We've also got a little bit of 201 slowdown coming over from Redwood to 900 West. And then slowing on the transition from eastbound 80 to go to north 215. That's because of a semi-crash on the ramp. Well, the ramp is still open. It's slow for traffic getting past it. Michelle?
Looking a little bit of slowing on Harrison Boulevard in Ogden and slow and go around the intersections. Southbound I-15, that has returned to good speeds. Just a little bit of leftover delay as you're headed through North Salt Lake. Legacy and I-215 looking good. Eric?
It's very wet northbound I-15 in Lehigh, the north part of Lehigh, and with all of the congestion basically hitting on the northbound side, that's where you've got all of the slowdowns, and it's pretty major. From 2100 north, you're going to be pretty slow going all the way up to Point of the Mountain. Using Redwood Road, you could have tried that, but that's also slow from Camp Williams going up to the Porter Rockwell intersection. The rest of I-15 Utah County, you just have one spot is slowing, and wet roads there too between Provo and Orem. Update your kitchen with Durden's Appliance, where they meet any competitor's price. Visit Durdens.com or on 5th South and Bountiful. Durden's branch, at prices you'll love. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-8 forecast. Today is the only active weather day through the next 7. 40 degrees today with rain, snow showers, especially in the morning. Partly cloudy tomorrow, 40. Back up to 44 with a mix of sun and clouds on Saturday. High pressure really building in here on Sunday, 47, partly cloudy. Might even see a little bit of valley haze. Upper 40s by Monday and Tuesday. Mostly sunny and 50 degrees. That's 10 above the normal by Wednesday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Looks like the rain may have tapered off a little bit downtown, 37 degrees, and the 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
We'll get one more look at how the markets are reacting this morning to those GDP numbers, which were better than expected for the fourth quarter. We'll do that next.
Where does a journey to wellness begin? Do you start looking for diet ideas? Or searching for exercise plans? Actually, you don't have to look far. Just look to the first 2 letters of the word wellness. We means you don't have to figure it out yourself. It means your hopes and challenges are a perfect match for our knowledge and resources. It means anything you want to achieve, together, we can achieve better. Because wellness begins with we. Intermountain Health, the power of we.
Okay, that's good. Whoa, Dave!
Sorry, I'll go grab some paper towels. You can't let Dave pour things. He works at JCW's. They fill stuff up past the brim over there, like their milkshakes. They're thick, rich, and oh my gosh.
Delicious?
Oh no. Dave's filling up Crystal's car for her.
Dave, stop!
Hey, this is Clark for JCW. Stop into any of our 5 locations today. We're located in American Fork, Thanksgiving Point, Provo, South Jordan, and our new location in Harriman. Come in and see why at JCW's we believe in quality and a lot of it.
Introducing Yes Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. We're bringing all of Utah's favorite HVAC, plumbing, and electrical brands under one roof. Call the pros at Yes and take $50 off any heating, cooling, plumbing, or electrical system repair over $200. Get fast relief and $50 off any repair from Yes Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. The same great people providing the same great service that Utah has counted on for more than 45 years. Visit theyesmancan.com to schedule your appointment.
Dave and Dujanovic.
What a week! Jazz owner wants to bring NHL hockey to Utah. My question, if everything works out, we get baseball, basketball, hockey, soccer, not to mention college football, how many games do they think I can go to? I'll give you my pitch on how it can all work out. Today on Dave and Dujanovic.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Anyone who buys internationally may have to wait even longer for their package. Royal Mail is considering a big change by only delivering mail 3 days a week instead of every day. The proposal is to help the century-old institution cut costs.
Tesla's net income more than doubled last quarter, but CEO Elon Musk is projecting a notably lower sales growth this year. It posted net income was $7.93 billion from October through December, making $2.49 billion or 71 cents a share. Their last quarterly revenue fell below the projected amount.
Google's newest Pixel phone has a feature never seen on a cell phone before. It's a working thermometer. You can use the phone to scan your forehead, and it will tell you if you have a fever or if you've just been on your phone too long.
That is really interesting.
Yeah.
That's something I actually use. All right, let's get a look then, especially on your kids. You can check their temperature.
Right.
The markets are up right now. Your money at this moment, the Dow's up 31. We're at 37,837. The S&P is up 15. The Nasdaq up 68.
I think these slowdowns are lingering because of the wet roads this morning,